show! From Michael Bay to Marvel, UK, every rock on in between. Breaking news and toy reviews, every robot turns wet dream. Grab a brew and join the crew, become part of our scene. Bring your mom, let's drink her own, make sure you're at least 18. Welcome to the show, the party and Hasbro. Friday nights, let's go, Transformers the show.
Hi everyone, welcome to Transformers the Show. Tonight we have Andy. Thanks for joining us, Andy. That's Andy from Kapow, not Andy from Transformers the Show, who is also here. Two Andys, double Andy. We've also got a discussion about what would happen if bloody Optimus Prime wasn't even real and didn't exist. And we'll do the same with Megatron as well. Loads of news, loads of pickups, loads of other stuff as well. Coming up on tonight's show, but as always, we're going to start off with the news. The news.
I talk some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. Right. As always, we do this in a chronological because it's easy for me to read off my notes. So this was from the official Wing Fighter YouTube account. They have shared a promotional trailer of the new Wing Fighter Transformers collaboration. So this is an arcade-style air shooting mobile game for Android and that other one that people buy as well. And obviously you've got Optimus Prime and Megatron in there, so they just shared some pictures of it.
Are we saying Android users are superior?
Damn right. That's a personal opinion that's held by anybody who knows what they're talking about, though.
Oh, but
Anyway.
apparently in the latest research, Android users are more intelligent and money savers.
We're 2 minutes in, less than 2 minutes in, and already we're going to start a fight with someone. Anyway, so they're doing a crossover, and I think this is supposed to run until February the 2nd, 2025. And obviously, you can see from some of the stills there that you can pick Optimus or Megatron, and they have a jet mode. Apparently, Devastator is going to be in there as like one of the bosses, I guess. Or maybe he's just in the background. Who knows? Because there's no actual information on that specifically. But, you know, the artwork looks pretty cool. Unicron in there. Very nice. I'm not aware of this game. I don't know if any of you are. This is mobile, like, shoot-'em-up games aren't exactly my
Well, Andy,
wheelhouse.
being an Android user, I'm quite frugal, so I wouldn't be buying this.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, take that, Apple phone users. With your expensive phones. Anyway, Mark Clonus, the lovely Mark from Hasbro.
Praise be to Mark.
He has been taking a look at the Commander Silverbolt from Age of the Primes on his Instagram and taking some photos focusing on the Superion element of it. Superion, I should say. He has already shown us the Silverbolt element of it in previous photos. So, yeah, I still think it looks really good personally, you know. And it will be bought.
Oh, I don't think it does. Does anyone else? Pete?
All right, to be
Jamie,
wrong.
Does anyone else think it looks rubbish?
I think it looks really good.
I've always respected you, Jamie.
If Hasbro painted
Careful
the
now,
brick and put an Autobot symbol in it, Jamie go mini masterpiece. That is
No,
It
but
depends if it was Optimus Prime.
non-loyalist.
I think it's a massive upgrade in comparison to the Titan war figures.
Oh dear.
I would say the
Careful.
thing that doesn't do Superion any good is look at the legs. He does look, the legs don't look right. Whereas with Menasor, I don't know if it's still the same leg mold or whatever, but Superion Menasor looks leggier.
Do
And it
you
suits him
remember
better.
what Combino Wars looked like?
Yeah, but
I
we're
know
not
for you-
in
Oh,
Combined
God, here
Wars
we go.
anymore.
That's a discussion
Remember
for
what
another
King Ironhide
time.
looked like?
This is a massive
Dinosaurs
upgrade.
or Age of the Primes.
This is
Anyway,
good.
The only thing, my challenge for that is that when we saw this, the first time we saw it, we all thought it was a core class, and we were like, "Oh, it looks right for core class," and everyone was fine with it. And then no one's really mentioned that again. Like we
that was
all thought
the
it
early
a very-
Silverbolt pictures, but they've released
Yeah.
pictures since that showed that those early pictures were just really bad photographs of it. I mean, you couldn't pick out any of the details. So you've been off the show, Paul. That's the problem. When we've discussed that, you weren't here.
When I was
So we
on the
have
show
to-
last, it was Combiner Wars. It was brilliant.
I know.
Lovely time that was.
I wasn't here when you called it Core Class because I would have said you're wrong.
You might have been off that week. Maybe that was it.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can kind of swap the limbs around, so it's kind of Scramble City-esque, I guess.
I'll buy it. I'm a sucker for anything Combiner related. I'm the ultimate gimmick person. Anything Combiner related, yeah, I'll buy it.
It was cool.
The only thing I'd say is, I think with the original, obviously, because you could turn the so you could have the jet parts on the shins instead of on the back of the leg, depending on which way you wanted it. And that's the only thing. It would have been nice to be able to do that, but because of the functionality of the way the legs work, you just can't. But that's the only problem I have with the Superion. The Silverbolt is, yeah.
Right. Could we just go back just one picture, please? Just because look.
Did you just ask me to go back?
No, I didn't. I just asked if you accidentally clicked the back arrow.
Unbelievable.
Using Menosaur's trailer, the legs are different.
The only difference is the moulding on the front. The system is exactly the same. See?
No.
Uh,
I'm with Paul.
The thing is, it looks like a robot, doesn't it? It looks like a combiner, unlike Combiner Wars, which sometimes you had to use a lot of your imagination and goodwill
Agreed.
to think it was humanoid, not some skeleton burned with acid or something like that. Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, they have got the jets on the other side. I'm going to see me. They've just turned the legs around somehow. Anyway, there you go. It looks good, and people are allowed
does
to have
that mean-
whatever opinion they want.
Your previous point was defunct now.
Possibly. I
I'll
was under the
edit it
impression
out.
you couldn't turn around. I'm going to have to check on Minosaur.
Just missed the whole first 6 minutes.
Turn around.
Can we restart, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's restart.
We can pause live. We can pause live TV and just start again, can't we? Take two. Anyway, there's Silverbolt's face, and he's looking at you there, Paul, because he looks pissed.
Good face.
Right.
I like his just
Botox lips.
body shame him. His crap body.
And
got
then we had the
lips to kiss
reveals on Tuesday from Hasbro Pulse. So this is the Wreck and Doom Top Spin versus Sinister, I should say, 2-pack. And the pre-orders for this and a couple of other bits went up on Tuesday, and we will go through them. So this is a repaint of the Spinister we've already had, but this time including his Target Masters, which he didn't have the original time, and a repaint of Top Spin in his Diaclone colours to match the one that we already got in the Wreckers pack.
When did he actually have his Target Masters? Because was it in the cartoon? Because it wasn't in the comics. And it wasn't
The toy.
in the original
No, it was
toy.
the toy. He
Toy.
wasn't featured in the cartoon. The toy came. Yeah, he's a double Target Master originally. So he came with. And God bless Hasbro. I know we're all for nostalgia, but they pretty much had the same amount of articulation as the two they're including this time, in terms of Target Masters, Hair Splitter and Singe as they are. And there they are. But some people like it because the colours are based on the comic book colours rather than the toy colours, and the last version of this was based on the toy colours.
He was a Target Master in the comic books.
No, he was a double Target. His toy was a double Target Master.
Oh,
in the
right.
comic books, they seem to completely ignore the Target
Yeah.
Master element of it. I don't think he ever had his Target Masters. He was just, fairly badass, as we saw.
Good point by Prime. Like, why is the new batch of ARP all repaints of years old figures? How do you feel like that they're stretching it? 'Cause they've done this a few times now, going back to figures not from the same line, from an older line, and then repainting them.
I think it's
They're doing
money
more than they
saving.
used to.
It's money
Yeah.
saving, and unfortunately, it's where they are at the moment, and we've seen it with the layoffs and everything else. They're finding ways of saving money while still trying to put out characters people might want. If you don't like the original ones, I mean, at least these are good molds. I can tell you now, if you don't have the Spinister, the Spinister is excellent. Genuinely one of the best deluxe class Transformers we've had in the last 10 years. Possibly one of the best we've ever had, but I mean, definitely one of the best deluxes. So I definitely recommend that. I think I did have Top Spin, but I wasn't particularly fussed about him. Anybody else? Is anybody else excited for this?
Well, I pre-ordered it.
Yeah,
Obviously.
I think it looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I pre-ordered it because I like Spinister in those colours. I'm not particularly bothered for Top Spin, but I'll take him because he comes in the pack. That's the way I look at it, anyway.
Yeah,
I'm
getting it.
Now,
That's
this
cool.
was a definite pre-order, and this was automatically pre-ordered as soon as I knew it was up and available. And I know it's the same toy that it was before, and they've just repainted it, but god damn it, it looks good.
I love it.
Like cricket. At least they changed the select boxes, which were really
Will you be
dull before.
tempted,
Yeah.
the closer it comes to the date, for it to be at least to maybe cancel your pre-order and maybe wait to see if it goes cheaper, like to about 130, like the last Titans have?
No, because the thing is, I know if I do that, then I will miss out somehow. They'll sell out really quickly for some reason. I know that we've had recent ones that haven't done that, like the Metroplex, the Cybertron Metroplex, and
Tidal
what was
Wave.
the last one, Tidal Wave. But then again, I'd say they were more niche characters, whereas this is very G1, and the demand for this was still there because lots of people didn't get it the first time around. So I'm hoping I'll get it for cheaper than the actual proper RRP of £220, but I'll still go for it. Andy, what about you? Have you gone for this one?
I haven't, because I have two other versions of Trypticon already, and I looked at them when you brought that on screen. I'm like, can I fit a third on that shelf over there?
Of course you can.
Andy.
Yeah.
The fact
with
that
that
you thought
attitude.
about it and have articulated it, your brain's already decided it's getting that Tripticon.
I think I will try and wait for it to come down, because the last couple I've picked up have all been not in the 200 mark. It's just a lot for a figure I've already got, but in different colours.
Yeah,
As
with
much
this
as I do
one, I
love
feel
the
though,
colours, don't get me wrong, I love it.
if you do pay £200, it is £200 worth of figure. Like, there's such a good figure with so many extra bits and stuff, and such good transformation. I love the spaceship mode. I think it's one of the best Titan transformations there is. So if you do end up paying £200, at least you know you've got value for money there. It's a £200 transformer, definitely.
From
it
a
full
purely
tilt?
nerdy standpoint, I would say that I haven't seen that turquoise blue on many other figures either, and that really appeals to me. So I know that sounds really sad, but yeah, that's the kind of thing I go for.
Is the little robot called Full Tilt? Is that his name?
Yeah.
You see, I like that as well, and I think that's a really cool little deluxe bot as well. I think if you haven't got this, it's worth picking up. But if you've already got two
And
of
it's
them on your
looking
shelf,
more like a Decepticon purple rather than that pink, which I think was more to do with the camera settings rather than the actual toy itself.
But anyway, so the pre-orders for all of this stuff that we're seeing right now, the pre-orders are up, so you can pre-order if you wish to. Then we had the Studio Series stuff. So again, all pre-orders are up. We
He's
have
laughing already.
Deluxe Class Optimus Prime, which is the Transformers Devastation version. And everybody is really, really pleased about this, especially
So deluxe.
It's so awful. I be like this going, I'm like in a merry-go-round just screaming just now looking at that in my head. It's just like, no. I'm sorry, someone might like it. I can understand that if you're from Essex or somewhere, but no.
Did you only order 2 of this one?
Hello to all our Essex friends.
No.
Andy,
mean,
do you like this? Just so we can check if Jamie's insulted you. Anyway.
I don't like the self-shaded nature of it. I just think it's not for me. I don't actually
You're
own any
wise,
Studio
man.
Series figure. Don't know any Studio Series figure. Just not a line I've ever enjoyed using or playing with.
Right, this is not representative of the Studio Series line.
Green.
This is a fucking monstrosity.
It's
just nasty.
yeah. It just looks cheap. It looks like one of those red figures, but not as actually doesn't look as good as them in some ways.
No, it doesn't.
In the
does it?
box, at least. But it'll probably be great. The people will probably get it in your hand and be absolutely loving it. But it doesn't look great.
Do you
they
think?
won't.
No, do you think this is like a litmus test where we basically they're pushing it to see how bad people are when it comes to buying toys? And...
They've just got loads of primes, loads of them.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Jazz again, because again, why not? I'm sure they said there was something. Is it the numbers different on the side or something? I was only half listening to the live stream while I was trying to pre-order things at the same time.
I was too busy screaming to hear what they were saying.
You've really got to stop going on fairground rides when you're watching the reveals.
No,
It's
I know.
dangerous.
At least the real. I'm just.
Anyway, there's Jazz that's coming. if you missed out on it previously, because it is the Studio Series 86 one.
I mean,
Oh,
I could
God.
understand. Some people have missed out, but why would you'd want to miss out in this? Surely, I thought.
Well, I mean, movie fans are going to want this, I guess, because it's Wheeljack or Q, as they
All
called
two
it in
of
the
them.
film.
Be a badness
Brand-
will love it.
Brandon, I was going to say Brandon will be all
Brandon
over this,
will be
won't
all over this. He'll love it. He'll love it. And why not? If you know, if
So
you like
that's
it.
one box sold in the UK. So that's-
What else did we have? Oh, the Ironhide based off that Ratchet Gamer mold that we've already had, but they have made changes to the mold, so it is slightly different. And I heard that Ratchet is good, so we shall see.
I know that some people might like this. I still think we're starting to pay a lot of money for something that's it's just not as good as prior. Because
Has anybody got that Ratchet, the gamer one that came out recently? Because it seemed to be like gone immediately. I don't like there've been listings for Smiths and places like that. I don't think it's ever showed up, has it? Good, thank you all. Right, I'll just carry this thing on my own. Jesus.
It's just not a good figure. It's just
The
not.
leader class Optimus Prime from Age of Extinction, which
Fucking
like
hell.
yeah, but here's the thing, right? I've seen like luminaries of our UK Transformers community who've been waxing lyrical about this thing. It's like, really? Because
I don't believe him. I think
Yeah.
yeah, it's agreed. There's a lack of paint apps. I feel like it's almost like we're seeing a prototype, and any moment we're going to see a finish. And I'm starting to think if influencers or whatever they call themselves, superfans and influencers, are saying positive stuff like this, I think they've got to start to be honest and also say, no, it's not that good. It's good for me because of these reasons, but they've got to be honest and say there's a lot of things that's lacking.
And then we've got this one actually looks quite good, but I mean I don't particularly like the designs of the film. But this is the leader class Shockwave that comes with a little Brains and Wheelie. So again, if you're a movie fan, have we had toys of Brains and Wheelie before? Well, we had Wheelie,
Yes,
didn't we?
yes.
We had that terrible deluxe one.
This is the re-release. I've got this one. This
Have they come out with Brains and Wheelie before?
yeah. It
Oh,
comes
brilliant.
a new little parachute guy. I can't remember if it's got the
So
exact
it's the
same
same
paint app.
flipping toy.
Yeah, it's the exact same toy. I can't remember if it's the exact same paint app on the little two guys, but they did come with it. The only thing I would say good about this, you're going to have a generation of 5 or 6 years of kids who potentially couldn't get it now will be able to get the Shockwave character. So it's good for them. It's a nice, easy transformation, and it's a really cool figure. So I don't want to defend it, but it's
kind of that.
yeah.
What is that?
What is? I'm sorry. I was going to say that alt mode is just let's just fold up him up a bit and stick a gun on the top.
That's why it's easy to transform.
Awful.
But
Awful.
I tell you what, it's better looking than Optimus Prime from every single position.
It's just the picture
Aye,
doesn't
aye.
do justice.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe you need to see it in person. And all the ones that will be appearing on the parts of the toy food tables the next meal.
It's a movie, so it's good.
Anyway, everybody knows how much I love Funko Pops. Certainly don't think they're a complete waste of time. But via the Pop Analyst and Funko Info on Instagram, these are the first look at the upcoming Funko Pop Retro Toys G1 Cyclonus, Hot Rod, and Omega Supreme. So these will be like everywhere because like every shop seems to sell about 1,000 Funko Pops nowadays. The Cyclonus, it's just something about the size of that head and just the face. I'm getting shivers.
Go to your room. Get to your room now. Go to your room.
Mom.
I'm not a Funko Pop fan, so I apologise because I'm not going to be overly like positive about these just because I think Funko Pops are a bit.
I mean, they look alright, don't they? I don't know if I'd get them.
If you want a collectible, stick it on a shelf, I guess so. But that means less room for Transformers, actual ones.
Do you think they should have just went a bit ridiculous with Cyclonus and just made his head even bigger and maybe less of a body?
Yeah, just one
Just
head.
a giant head, 80% head, tiny little body
coming out the chin.
Oh, don't even give him heel spurs, just have him full of it. Anyway, pre-orders for this went live on Wednesday. The Wednesday just gone, apparently. So, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
And then Takara, Tomy, and with pictures from Dengakai Hobby, they shared the official reveal for the MPG-15 Masterpiece Rattle, as they call him in Japan, and we discovered last week, Rattrap, as we call him over here. And he has a price of $104.36 in US dollars, as a director, you know. Anyway, that's how much he costs. God knows, probably 100 quid over here, I'm guessing. And here it is. As massive Beast Wars fans as we are, Andy, I can't speak for you, but Pete in particular is a real lover of Beast Wars and all of its lore and characters. How anybody like seen this and thought, yes, this is the version of Rattrap we've all been waiting for?
No. It's a no from me, Andy.
Is it? I'm shocked.
Yeah. Oh, maybe a stop. Like, stop. Don't make.
You know what though? I'm not a Beast Wars fan. All joking aside, but if like I wanted a version of Rattrap that really looked like Rattrap, this does seem to really look like Rattrap. I just don't want one. I mean, if I did, this would be great, I'm sure. Andy, are you a Beast Wars fan? Is this in your wheelhouse?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't buy
no.
that, but I like Beast Wars. I don't mind it. I like anything Transformers related. If it looks good, I'll buy it, but that just looks weird to me. That picture there just puts me off. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just scared of rats subconsciously.
Isn't it accurate to the cartoon, though?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of people saying it is. Again, it's not something I can comment on too much. But I've seen a lot of people reacting very positively to this who are clearly Beast Wars fans. Very expressive faces that you can get with it.
I mean, fuck.
Beg your pardon, Pete?
You are biting your tongue very well.
Do you know what?
He doesn't want all the Beast Wars fans after him again.
If people go out and earn the money and they choose to buy this for the money, then I hope you enjoy it.
I think it's surely worth buying just so you can
You
recreate
don't need that.
Look at
You
that,
don't
eh?
need that, though.
Peak. That's peak Transformers right there.
Amazing.
The maximal magmatron.
Oh dear. A rhino, a gorilla, and a rat walking to it. Right. And there's all the bits and pieces it comes with.
I mean, fucking what? I just, oh my.
That's the most coherent argument you've put together this week about this.
There's a list of characters we haven't had a masterpiece for, and they go, do you know what's going to fly off the shelf? Rattrap.
But
But
they've
to be
done quite a
fair
few of
to
the Beast Wars,
Yeah.
though, haven't they?
yeah, Takada have almost completed the sort of Beast War characters,
Yeah,
haven't they? They're working through them.
All right,
Anyway, there he
well
is.
done.
I don't feel like you mean that. Anyway, we'll move on. One thing that was also mentioned in that Hasbro Pulse reveals video on Tuesday is that the next HasLab will be revealed at MegaCon Orlando. I can't even say it. Orlando, which is the February 6th to the 9th in Orange County Convention Center. So if you're nearby, drop over and have a look. We won't. We'll just see the videos and photos that will inevitably be up on all the websites. Very quickly, put you all on the spot. None of this is planned, obviously, because nothing ever is. Tell me what you think the next HasLab is going to be. Jamie?
I had the answer. I've got the answer.
I'll come back to you.
Forgotten.
I'm going to go with Primus, Cybertron Primus. I don't think it will be, but I'm just going to go with that one. Andy, any thoughts?
I want a Predaking. I don't think it will be, but I think that would be a really good shot. I think a good combiner in HasLab would be great. They could really milk it then, and it'd look really good.
Yeah, make the other ones look rubbish. Pete, obviously something Beast Wars for you?
Introduction of a new class. It's going to be God class. It's going to be a half-scale version of Cybertron. I'm going to have to move house because the Cat Slayer and Cybertron are taking up every room in my fucking house.
You can live on both of them. Paul, I'm looking forward to this. What do you think the next HasLab will be?
Thanks, Andy. I would love a toy color Tripticon. I think that would be an awesome HasLab.
Completed it, mate.
I thought you were going to say something like Gail Platt, but all right, we'll go with that. Jamie, did you remember your answer, or do you want us to leave it?
I can't remember my answer, but I know I'm right. I just can't remember what it is. I
I can't
know.
remember my answer, but
I don't. Yes.
Right, we'll crash on.
Can I just say in the chat, there's a really good shout of a rail racer. Robots
Yeah.
to turn around
Oh, yeah,
race would
yeah.
be really good. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
See, it's possible because they do. I've been like leaning into a lot of the Japanese characters, but we will have to wait and see.
Lots of people saying Primus. The only thing is though, Unicorn just it got over the line, didn't it? It didn't.
Yeah.
Didn't fly over the line, did it? So is
No.
Primus
No.
gonna?
And if you're going to do something to scale with it, surely the cost is going to be more this time around, given everything's gone up or seemingly gone up. I don't know.
Yeah. Guess they
But
got
let's look at
designed-
these quality products because these are, again, masterpiece. So this is the Transformers Swap-toons line. We've talked about this a lot because there was lots of leaks. So these come in 2-packs, and we are going to look at some of those 2-packs. And if we have to look at them, so do all of you. So you have Hot Rod and Bumblebee 2-pack. You jam them together to make the vehicle mode, it would seem. That's the back package of a different one. You've got Cheetor and Tigertron.
No.
Look at that, eh? That's going in everybody's Christmas list.
That's I want a T-shirt with that one.
Megatron and Shockwave.
These are
Look at
all
Megatron.
Shockwave.
He's just happy. He's just happy, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, there they are.
That's
These
cool.
I'm gonna hazard a guess that these are aimed at the younger audience. No, not entirely, but probably more than the older audience. Although I know for a fact that a lot of you out there are going to buy these. They have very much the bots kind of vibe to me. It's that kind of thing. Anyway, there's Magnus and Prime, and you shove Magnus's head up Prime's backside, and you make a truck mode like so.
Excellent.
I mean, they all look really
Yeah.
happy, don't they?
They do. I like the box
Just having a
art of them.
great day.
Yeah. And their alt modes look really good. Like they obviously
Yeah, they
remind me
almost aren't that bad, are
of
they?
Micromasters. They combine the Micromasters, but better.
The kids are going to love them, hopefully.
I feel like the term "really good" has been thrown around with some artistic license.
A bit liberally. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's crash onto stuff that's better. Here is Takara Toby's T-Spark Adamas Machina AMT-02 Predaking, which was kind of... We got some leaked pictures of it. So it's the individual Predacons that transform and combine into a Predaking that... friend of the show and serial competition winner Bisto, he pointed out that it looks a lot like the one, I think it was him, that pointed out it looks a lot like the one from Call of the Primitives, the G1 cartoon, when you see the combined mode at least. Obviously, if that picture is to scale, then the Limbots are much smaller than Razorclaw, which is a bit... yeah. But the Predaking itself looks rather tasty.
Awesome.
So... is anybody particularly excited for this bad? I think there's some more pictures of him coming up later.
I was until I saw that the leader was vastly bigger. It appeared than the other team members. But I am still interested. I'm not out the ring yet. I'm still going to take a look at this. So,
well, it's good to know you're in the ring there. Right. There's some more.
4 feet on the ground.
Oh, I need to grow up.
Are you making ring jokes?
And I'm
Lord of the
laughing
Rings. Anyway, I like the poster. Yeah, the poster's cool. I'm definitely sure we've got another picture or two later on. And maybe I downloaded them slightly out of order for that, but we'll see. And then this, which is MPG-12 Shattered Glass Optimus Prime, a redeco of Masterpiece MP44 Optimus Prime without his trailer. And so there's some images of it, I should say, if I speak properly. So, anybody like a Shattered Glass Prime from time to time?
I have the original that I picked up dirt cheap when everyone was trying to get rid of it. But yeah, I don't need another one.
See, yeah, it doesn't feel like it's been that long since I've seen one of these, but that was probably third party or something. But it just, yeah. Tool gone. You see what they did there? So that's printed on the roof.
I'm just over all the
face?
primes, man. It's just
Me too.
too
Yes.
many primes. It's just doing
Definitely.
fucking boxing.
It's like overkill now. And don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, some of them are fantastic toys, but it's getting to the point where every time you see another one, you're like, oh, God, how many can I have here? Unless you're Rodimus Prime, and then he's absolutely chuffed, because that's pretty much all he can do. I had no idea. I'm guessing they're showing the gap there on the side. There's that red circle. I don't know why that circled. There was no indication as to why. No, is it broken? No, that's not the broken windshield tampos either. I don't know. Anyway, there's the top of it again. There's a random shot of the smokestacks for reasons. And there's the legs. If you like to look at the legs on any of your figures, suits you. Which takes us on to... Now, this I do like. This is the Takara Tomy Transformers MPG-09B Nucleon Quest Super Convoy, which was, again, like all the rest of these, on display at T-Spark Zone 2025. I want to say it was in Singapore, but I could be completely wrong. I like this, and I don't care what anybody else says. I think this looks... I know it's the same toy that was already released, but this just looks damn good in black. Lee, where are you, mate? You know what you've got to do. Anybody else agree that this looks badass, or am I all alone?
It does. It's good. It just looks cool, and even the base mode looks cool. It looks better black, the base mode.
Because there's a fans hobby black version, isn't there, of this? The like Nemesis Prime version, and I bet that's pretty cool as well. But is this? Yeah. Everybody I've seen seems to be getting this, seems to be giving largely positive reviews of the original. I mean, you know, the Convoy version. Oh, Ginrai, rather. Yeah, I like it. That's it. I don't know why I'm apologising for it. I'm allowed to like it.
You can.
I haven't said a word.
I thought you were going to say something, that's all.
No. I was going to say you're not allowed, but I suppose you are to an extent. So you just crack on, do you?
Anyway, and then they also had some of the figures we've already seen on display there, and I know we've seen it before, but I included the photos anyway because there's not many of them. So Scrapper and Bone Crusher, the Studio Series 86 ones, were there, and it has been highlighted, although this isn't new information because we did see this previously when they did the reveals, the hollowness of the arms, which obviously for some collectors is an issue. I think on a £25 bot, I'm not so worried about it myself, but I can see why some people might be. Bone Crusher. I don't know. He just... Yeah.
Just looks like me when I put my skinny jeans on.
I love your lady loves.
I was just going to say, it's like me after Christmas. Post-Christmas me is Bone Crusher. And then Air Raid.
He doesn't look right, does he, that Bone Crusher? He just looks harsh, and it's just, yeah.
It's the only one I've seen of him so far that I'd say just looks off, like, in terms of the general look of it. But I'm not an engineer. I don't know how hard it is to get these things to look the right way and be functional. And there's Slingshot, the arsiest of the aerial bots. And then that takes us on to something that we teased. No, well, we didn't tease it. It wasn't ours. But we shared the teaser, I think it was last week, which is the Takara Tomy Synergen X Macross 7 Transformers Basara Convoy prototype, which again was on display at the same place.
Breaking news, Andy. I've just remembered what it was.
Oh, oh, thank God. Well, we're going to go straight over to our roving reporter, Jamie, with this breaking news story.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be based on the excellent three-parter Megatron we had. It's going to be Giga Megatron.
Right.
I think. Do you know when Megatron splits into 6 different parts?
Does he split into 6 different parts, or does he just have 6 modes? Or am I thinking of a different?
Oh, he's got 6 modes. Well, 6 modes that combine.
There was the one that had the 6 modes because one of the modes was like a hand, and I always found that hilarious. Was that a Megatron? Somebody help me out here. This was like, was it Beast Wars RID, something like that? I don't know. Anyway.
RID. Sorry.
There you go.
So I just presume because when you think about HasLab, you had Star Saber, then you had his nemesis, the Saurus. So I'm just thinking they're following that line.
It could be. It could be. Depends whether they're going that same size or big.
Another bot I don't need to find the money for.
Which one? The one on the screen or the one he's just mentioned?
All of them.
This is Optimus Prime on the screen. Convoy. It's the same thing. Convoy, but with the kind of Valkyrie Macross influence to the design. And they gave him a guitar, which So I'm sure somebody said on our group in a comment that it's a thing apparently, but I don't know. Anybody
Useful
looking
thing.
at this and thinking that looks cool, I want to buy that.
I'm not.
If we hadn't have had the other 22 primes in the last 8 months, I might have bought it.
Didn't we see last week when we saw it, we thought the guitar was cool and that was it?
Yeah, well, we couldn't see much of the guitar. We just knew there was a guitar. We could see the guitar strap. That's about all we had last week. So this is the first time it's been kind of shown off properly. Yeah.
It looks all right, doesn't it? Yeah, but it's just
Yeah, it doesn't look bad. It just
prime
I dunno.
fatigue.
maybe that's what it is. Maybe we're just sick of Optimus Prime.
Repetitive Prime syndrome.
Let's get it hashtagged.
Oh, RPS. Right, so we'll move on to a different Prime, kind of. So this is the Takara Tomy Transformers AMT-01 Rodimus Prime from their T-Spark line. And this is his alt mode,
That's sick.
which I can't remember if we'd actually seen this properly before, but there it is.
That is arousing.
Hmm.
That's lovely.
And a view from the rear.
Oi, oi.
And god damn, that is yeah, that's a very IDW looking Rodimus.
Dave said if this was a blocky, you lot would be licking it off the table.
I
Licking it off the tape. Is that a phrase? I've never heard that before.
What's your point, Dave?
old Jamie would have bought this without blinking, but new Jamie, who's trying to stick to a budget of 2,000 this year, is now a bit hesitant.
Is that a month? Oh dear me. Anyway, here it is, and there it is, and I've no idea on cost. I can't remember somebody said about this. Andy, would you pick something like this up, or is this not really what you?
Yeah, I really like that. I tend to, the joy of being with Toy Theories, I tend to be able to pick things up and look at them and go, yeah, I love that. But yeah, that's the kind of thing I look and go, oh, that looks amazing. I'll have a look at that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'd be terrible working for Toy Fair because I'd literally just walk up and down constantly, just messing around with the figures, and I wouldn't sell anything.
that's
Probably
why I
buy
have no
more.
money.
Yeah, what's that? This isn't actually Transformers, but it's Takara Tomi's Diaclone Tactical Mover Series MK2, or it might be 11, but I think it's supposed to be MK2, Horus Vasalta, which was also shown off with all the Transformers stuff, and some people like a bit of Diaclone stuff, so there's that. That's the only picture we've got. And then we're back to the Predaking again, because there were yet more clearer pictures that were shared that really do show off this.
I think Predakon's going to have to be bought, but I'm just so worried about the price.
Oh, this is not going to be cheap. I'm fairly
I want to
confident.
see it in colour. I think colour might do it more justice than the prototype of it.
Yeah.
But the arms do look a bit thin on the joints, so we'll see.
Mm.
And it's a box set, isn't it? You get all of them together.
He's got a bit of a
I'm
thin
assuming.
waist, hasn't he? He's a bit of a thin waist there. I think he should be more.
Needs to get himself
straight
the
down
Greg's.
Yeah.
Look, those weapons.
I want the Greg's version.
Greg's. Got to get to Greg's. No, actually, no other shops of pasties and stuff are available. Go to Greg's. Anyway, there's the box again.
Bought, isn't it? It's just because he's such. Why
Yeah,
he's
he's if that's all accurate size-wise and scale-wise, he is quite a bit bigger. Which, I mean, it'll be again. It's an engineering thing, but it just does bother me.
Barbary lines were massive though before they went extinct.
All right, David Attenborough. Cheers for that. Animal Corner with Pete. Next week,
come on.
giraffes. And there's a close-up just so you can see the detail and that head sculpt. Now, that head sculpt is a good head sculpt of Predaking, and that looks... Oh,
I think I have to buy this just for, like, I don't know, sanity and for the goodness of the human race. I don't know.
I thought you were going to say science.
Yeah.
And then there's Rattrap. We've already had a look at Rattrap a little bit in the Takara product photos, but this is the actual toy. There he is as a rat, because he's a rat.
Those whiskers are going to break, aren't they? You can tell.
Of course they are. And there he is with some of the rest of the Beast Wars characters so far.
It's nice they've completed the team. For those people that are enjoying the Beast Wars Masterpiece and, they wanted to collect them all, it's nice that they've finish the team.
Yeah. Well, crack on because I've just noticed the time. Oh my yes. So right. So this is the Missing Link RC prototype that was again on show. So this is the prototype which was based off that original, I believe, RC. Was it Floro Deary design?
No.
Yeah, but people will want this just because of like the novelty of it all. But like, if you actually ask me, even when I was a kid, if I'd seen that, I'd have just gone, no, it just doesn't. Like the Chrome Dome, you know, they did one of like they repainted Chrome Dome, didn't they? And they had an idea when the rebirth happened and the headmasters were happening to release RC as a headmaster using Chrome Dome's body basically repainted, and they never did it. I think that looks better, like design wise, than this does. But people will buy this because, you know, it's the novelty element.
The novelty, but they can't say it's good, can they? They can't say with a straight
Well, they can. They just might be wrong. That's all. They're allowed to say it though. It's a free country, Jamie. At least here it is. Not everywhere.
Should it be?
Well, maybe not. But
should this be a test? Should it? You know?
But there it is. It's there. People will buy it, I am sure. The other Missing Link stuff has been wildly popular, really. So I think people will buy it. Right, that, because it was quite a big one this week, is all of the mainline news. There is some third party as well. So shall we do a bit of that with our entirely mainline intro?
Yep.
Battle Tank! Battle this. It's heavy metal cruncher time as Optimus Prime goes toe-to-toe with Combat Megatron. Prime is one tough dude underneath his hood. He's a transformer missile fun phenomenon. Combat Megatron is combat armed. His mighty mega missiles are slamming. He can mad out more for use mega force, but Combat Optimus is still standing.
Right, there'll be no anti-blocky movement. All right, you know where the door is.
It's going to be a war at TFN.
I'm going to say this though.
Non-blockies.
No blockies in the news this week.
But I'll tell you what, next week there's going to be plenty of blockies in the news, so watch the show next week. You'll be astounded about how much blocking news we actually have.
Blocky-tastic. Anyway, right. New Age Toys. The box art for this, that just Blaster with his scary hand is just
Andy,
freaking
can I make an announcement? If possible,
amazing, isn't it?
Because the good news is now finished, most people might be disappearing. Adam, who won the competition last week, could you please reply to the emails I've sent so you could choose the one you want to win? I'll give you one more week, Adam.
No, because Bisto gave it up because he thought it was ridiculous that he won again.
I'll try for one more week, Adam, and then I'll have to go to we got a third choice. Actually, we'll have to go to the second choice, and then I'll have to find a new third choice if that's not the case.
If you've watched the show back, Paul, you'll have seen that when it was revealed that Bisto was on the wheel, he was rather surprised because he didn't remember sending the photo in. It was over Christmas, and he may have had one or two libations. Anyway. There you go.
That was the one where he had clothes on.
I still like Skywarps that didn't really have a lot to do with Christmas, but anyway, it was a nice photo. Anyway, so here is the Shattered Glass Blaster by New Age Toys, which they call Communications Blowout. There he is next to the other New Age blasters. Wow, they've done quite a few. The overwhelmingly positive reaction you're all giving me tells me that
I
you
bought
really
comic
like
colours. I bought the comic colours one today.
Oh,
I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be sexy.
Anyway, yeah, I actually don't mind this. I don't mind the colours. But
it's just not
for me.
What's the point? You know what I mean? It's just like
what's the point of making things other people might like that I don't?
Yeah, agreed.
What's the point?
I mean, that's where I'm at now. All right, as I get older.
Anyway, quiet old man. New Age Toys H64EX Lincoln Legend Scale Trailbreaker Toy Deco. These photos came from We The User Mang Motion. So this is the
breaking news again. Andy, you were right. It's not 6 individual parts. He's got 6 forms, like 6 gun and stuff. Like
I've got the.
I've told you, Jamie. It's not used when I'm right. It's just the way it is.
You got Megatron.
Yeah, I got the image. I forgot to post
Oh
that.
dear.
That's what Giga Megatron looks like in all his 6 modes. And you're right, there is a hand mode, which doesn't look as bad as I thought it'd look, actually. Not bad. That's what Jamie
It's a
thinks.
lovely
possibly.
purple and blue.
Yeah.
Anyway, right, we'll move on. And
I didn't
carry
think
on.
the hand mode was true. Now I looked at the picture. And went,
yeah,
what
yeah,
the-
yeah, it's real. Sorry,
the foot
quick
mode?
segue. Liam picked one up from a car boot many years ago when he was little, my eldest son, and he obviously discovered the hand mode. I can't remember. I think I did some research on TF Wiki, and he was amazed. He just thought it was the funniest thing ever. He wanted to slap people with it. Anyway, there you go. So this is the toy deco as opposed to what I assume was cartoon deco. They are side by side, so different heads, different colors. Guessing slightly different deco. No, don't go small, go big. There you go. And there you go. So New Age,
And
you
it's
know,
pretty cool.
they do pretty well. It's a
They do
shame the
exceptionally
prices
well,
of these
yeah.
things. Apparently, we were discussing with Rohan last week on Toy Me, Toy You. We were discussing like the fact that Legends prices, which used to be really cheap and just seemed an absolute bargain, have obviously gone up quite a bit.
Rohan
But
moaning about prices.
I know it's not like him.
Yeah, not
You'll be
New
surprised
Age.
to know
New
he
Age.
loved a reasonable price though.
They're the most expensive ones, though, aren't they? New Age. They've got the best, most premium finish. They've got metal parts. They generally have the best engineering. They are the fans' toys, aren't they? Of the Legends. They're the most
Yeah.
expensive ones.
Do you collect any of this kind of stuff, this kind of filth, Andy, or do you stick with like mainline?
Moth has a lot to answer for. He about 2.5 years ago, he talked me into buying a couple of Fans Toys figures, and then every time I see him since, I've bought more because I really enjoy them. So Fans Toys and Fans Hobby a little bit, but not much of the other stuff anyway.
Yeah, this is how Moth gets you, and how
Yeah.
he starts, and how he also funds his several houses that he's now going to buy with all the money he's making.
I have to give him credit though. I do like the figures that he's taught me into buying. I've been quite happy with them, but the rest of them I'm not a big fan.
I've just had a realization of something I forgot to download for the mainline use, which is I'll show it later or something if we get time. If we don't, it's not the end of the world. I've stuck the DNA design stuff into third party because at the time I needed to fill out the third party news. So this is their kit, upgrade kit for the Studio
How do you
Series.
put the
86
hands in?
Album.
Do you have to remove the pins?
I divney nah, man. Probably somebody in the chat will be able to tell you who's done that kind of customizing. I'm sure.
I'm
He gets a
gonna
new
get this.
face and other bits,
I'm going to get this.
and he gets a bit more height, doesn't he? He gets some lift for the legs.
Heels.
Make him a bit taller.
That's great.
It's all in the heels, baby. I like the gun as well. The toy style gun is pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to get the upgrade kit. It's just I don't want to kill myself.
I want to buy the
trying-
toy.
Trying to fit the pins right.
What? In giving Galvatron hands, I've lost mine.
Yeah, I just
Oh,
remember
the
Arcee.
irony.
Oh, we
Wonder
shall warn
Woman
him.
trying to get the pin out of Arcee.
Yeah, I'll tell you very quickly. It's got newly designed antenna parts that are more like the movie design, upgraded articulated index fingers for more dynamic and expressive hand gestures, leg height extension, interchangeable faceplates, weapon effect parts, and a brand new neck chain with refined details. At least that's what they say. So, yeah.
Grandmaster Flash.
I mean, yeah, it does make it look a bit more, dare I say, third party. Having the different faces and stuff. I suppose it is third party because it's the
I
kit,
heard
but you know what I mean.
Jamie is the reason we've now got opening hands with Galvatron.
So they must have this same upgrade kit if it hasn't already been out for the Old Kingdom one. Because look, he's got the leg extenders too, and there's the.
Oh, have you changed the hands for the Galvatron yet, or is it just the upgrade kit? It's got the opening hands.
It's the
new
upgrade.
It's the upgrade kit, yeah.
Oh damn it!
Hasbro. Anyway, right, we move on. There's the cannon mode, and there he is again, going pow pow or whatever noise you prefer to make. And then New Age again, who are doing the stunticons as a combiner. It says Overdrive, which I assume is their name for Menasor. Maximum Death Race Hitcher Rate, which I'm sure surely that's supposed to be Wraith, and Bullet. And anyway, somebody's lightened the picture so you can actually see some of the details. It's amazing what people can do on the internet, isn't it? And then you can have a closer look there. So you've got some stunticons with some stunticon-y heads and car modes, slightly pixelated. Motormaster looks like a truck, as you might expect. And then I think, is this the only one we've actually seen like a color render of it, which is Breakdown, and that looks lovely because it's Breakdown, and he is the best of the stunticons, as everybody knows.
Gonna wait to see how many colours they do before committing.
They're doing all of them. Cartoon, toy, shattered glass. What else is there? Comic book.
Love Blake.
Fever Dream, after taking something you shouldn't have taken and you just came up with some random colour. There'll be everything. It's New Age. And then
version.
This is mostly for you, Pete. So this is the new 3P company Defense. They've revealed their colour prototype of DF-01 Muscle Rex, a legend scale Fall of Cybertron Grimlock. And this was 14 centimeters tall. Get the tape measure out, Pete. And yeah, so very good pictures, very clear.
It's a big legend. Is it?
It's not a great dino mode in terms of like looking like he did in the game, but the robot mode's pretty good. I mean, dino mode's not bad. I just don't think it looks as bulky as he did in the game.
I think I'd have it. I think I'd have it in bot mode. Or let's be honest, I might have it. I'm gonna get it. It will be in bot mode.
I was going to say I'd be amazed if you didn't. I mean, I mostly included this because
look at it. Look at it.
I like that shield. That'll come in handy to hide in the bot mode.
That is a great shield.
Nothing wrong with the fucking bot mode.
Shiny.
Look at it. Look at that bump.
Superhero landing. And yeah, really good. These photos are very clear and nice, which is probably why my phone didn't like it when I tried to send them by messenger to our news group, and it refused to send them. So I had to go and download these, specially just for you, Pete, because that's what I do.
Is that what it looked like in the game?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, pretty much. But he was bulkier. But like, obviously, the size of the toy and everything, they've made him kind of slightly more slimline. Yes, Emma, it's great news, isn't it? Because Grimlock.
It's only 3 foot. This one, so it's only a small one.
Get off my YouTube.
These are my friends.
Stop telling me what to do. Anyway, there you go. That's all the third-party news that we have today.
That's all right. That's fine. There'll be more next week.
Can I just tell you what the other bit of news was quickly, so I don't have to show the pictures? So if anybody's seen, it was announced that they were doing a Transformers 1 little stop motion. They announced it as a series. They're little 2-minute long stop motion videos using the Transformers 1 figures from different, not just the Studio Series ones, like different toy lines, the One Steps, everything. And the first one of those is up on whichever website they're showing it on. I want to say it's YouTube on the Transformers thing, but it might be Hasbro Pulse. If you're not sure, do what I did, because I saw it on TFW 2005 and they had the video there so you can watch it. It's only 2 minutes long. Just a fun little video. It's nothing too serious, but
it's nothing to do with Transformers 1 story, is it? It's just its own.
They say it's like I wouldn't say it's the 2-minute episode I saw wasn't like a recreation of a specific scene, but it kind of like touched on Jamie, and then the three of us, and then back to us. It was just go watch it. It's easier, and then we could talk about it next week. And the disappointment some people felt when they thought there was a Transformers 1 series coming and then finding out it was just a stop-motion shorts, which is, I didn't do it, don't blame me. That's it. I did have pictures, but I forgot to download them.
Pete with a TFTS show polo shirt. Ed said he's only so straight.
Screw you, Ed. I've won that.
You are for now, Ed.
Unbelievable.
You are for
now. No, it's Pete moved backwards.
Yeah, and he flexed slightly. Did you notice that as well? He just breathed in.
Just stretching my back. Hang on.
Get the peps in there. Anyway, right.
Right, cool. Let's do some pickups. Yay.
We now return to the Transformers.
Cool. So I've missed pickups for the last couple of weeks. If you don't mind, I have got a pickup. It's the Transformers one. I'm not sure if I'll be able to unbox it live, but I can try. So if you look there, you can see the Blockies golden ones from 2024. And what's arrived is the Blockies golden ones for 2025 from Shozee. So these turned up
Nice.
last week. Any of you got these or put one of these together?
No.
Really, really hard to put together. They're not like normal Blockies. They've got a coating of paint, gold paint on them. Which
I
is really
have
hard
the
to do.
2024 ones, and I contacted the guy from Blokey's to get some black joints because the gold ones wouldn't put together.
Yeah.
And he just started me out with some of the old joints so that I could put them together and still look gold on the outside. But yeah, because I just shattered so many of the joints, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Everyone that I put together bent, snapped. Never mind, move on.
Oh, it's crazy. So they are. You really have to be careful with them. So yeah, I might replace some of these with some. I've got some spare Blockies up there. So that's the box. Oh, this is cool. So the other one was the Autobot insignia, but look how this looks. If I make myself big,
that's nice.
you can see these.
Man.
I mean, no, I'm not going to buy him just for the boxes being nice, though. That's the thing.
It's got this. I don't know what this is. It's got it. It's got it. And it's like, you know what it is? It goes on the they go on the base. You can see they're the same size as the bases.
It's the Golden Lagoon.
Yeah. I'm saying it is, Andy. And it's got a letter from Blockies, probably telling me where the fuck my pink Optimus Prime is. £300 if you've got one. I will pay that. And some instructions as well. So that's cool. So I will do that at some point. Hopefully they fixed that gold paint issue so you can put them together. Right, exit solar round. Other than that, just got this, and this is for you, Andy. So this is 2005 club football. Who's that? Is that Genus? Bellamy?
Well, we don't talk about Genus anymore, do we? He got cancelled.
Kluivert.
Jermaine Genus, Patrick Kluivert, Craig Bellamy, and Alan Shearer, which is ironic given that Craig Bellamy threw his toys out the pram because he didn't like being dropped for Kluivert and Shearer. Nice to see them all together there. Yeah, that was in the days when they did. That's really weird, though, that you picked that up because I was in a shop with Lucas the last weekend and he saw the club ones. Probably the exact same game, but it was a Celtic one. And he tried to explain to me how they did these games, especially specifically for certain clubs. And I was like, really? I had no idea. That's cool. I like that.
I thought you can play that, and then and it says the greatest Newcastle experience this season. So when you sell
it was that year.
Come off. You can play that.
You can't even afford him. It's great.
Pretend.
We can't afford anyone, but you definitely can't afford him. Anyway,
Craig Bellamy though, he's still up for grabs.
He's manager of Wales now. I don't think he needs.
Oh yeah, of course he is.
Cool.
That's it for me. So yeah, looking forward to that. Pete, what did you get last week?
Pete, are you making notes?
Yeah. Adding the people from the chat onto the list.
Things we must improve on.
So this week I picked up. Well, I got Blocky's Classic Class Starscream, but it was missing. It was missing a sprue. So Blocky's customer service are working their magic with it, but I felt like I'm a little bit gutted. But I'm only a little bit gutted because I think it was a freak occurrence. I got the same.
That Blocky? How did you contact the customer service? Was that just for their web page or Facebook?
I went through their Twitter marketing team, who were very helpful and pointed me into the customer service team. So I'm hoping that they're able to get something out quite quick because I was a bit gutted because I'd opened it all up and then I was missing a bit. It's just a freak accident. It's a freak packing accident. And that was the only thing. However, and I know we instilled a new rule last week that you actually had to have it in your hands for it to be classed as a pickup.
You have to be able to pick it up, Pete, according to you.
Yes. However, I did receive notification of when Caps Lairs coming. And I'm very excited about it. Very, 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 very excited. And that was it. Yeah, I've dragged it out. I've got fuck all.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited for your Cat Slayer. Like that is.
So good.
Just for a bit.
Yeah, it's March. Yeah, so pretty much.
I'm excited when we see Pete's dead body because Emma's just murdered him.
It's going to arrive
He
just before
arrives.
It's
At that
going to
point, when
arrive.
you say there's been a murder,
Yeah.
There's been Armada.
you can tell he loves that one, can't you?
Emma's planning it already. People get 10 seconds of satisfaction before the axe comes down.
Maybe a sex
Then-
sentence.
And then she moves into it.
Anyway,
I would.
Really?
Yeah, it arrives just before my 27th birthday, so I'm quite looking forward to that.
It's arriving 20 years in the past. Amazing.
20 years, more like 60.
Oh, fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's all. Can't wait.
yeah. Moff's rocking up next week, but he's not really a pickup, is he? Because I've had to pay him.
Awesome. Cool. Right, Andy, did you Andy from I was gonna say Kapow then, Andy from Toy Food. Did you you obviously you do things outside of Toy Food, you're not just tied to Andy from Toy Food. Did you get anything last week? Ooh.
I'm a sucker for cheap things that are on sale at ID Toys, so I just
Oh,
picked
really?
up both Infernac Universe Magnus. I've not even looked at it yet. But the one I was excited for was Robust and Sky Strong Arm because I wanted it for a while, and they were about tenner each. So I was like, oh, that'll do. But yeah, they will eventually come out of the box when I get a chance, and I'll try and find some space for them.
That's a great price, £10. Strong Arm as well. Just love that character.
Yeah, well, that's what
Andy
I'm
from
trying to
Good. Yeah, I got the RID Deluxe one somewhere in the kids' room. And that's a cracking figure as well. Really good transformation. Andy from Transformers the show and other things, and from Toy Me to You. What did you get? You absolute YouTube slut. What did you get?
You're not wrong. Nothing Transformers based, but I'm afraid, as a loyal football fan and a complete sucker, I did invest in the re-release 95-96 Newcastle home shirt, the finest football shirt of all time, right behind our away shirt from that year. And that was a bargain price, which I'm not going to say on air. But interestingly, I've still got, that's my original. That's the original one. It's all faded, and then
Oh,
so I've got two of them kind of now. But the original, look, long sleeves back in the days where you could get the long sleeve shirts and everything. Retro.
Box fresh for 90 quid.
It may have been around that price. Do you know what? It came in a box. It came in a box.
that is
So I was really surprised. I was looking there, what have I bought? and I said, I have bought something else actually that is Transformers related, but it's not arrived yet. But the lovely person off eBay I bought it from actually sent it on, like, it was just supposed to be like second class sign for him. He sent it 48-hour tracked just because he said he wanted it to get to me quicker. So I will show that off next week, and hopefully it'll be interesting to someone other than me, but probably not. That's it. I won't milk it like some people do.
Jamie. Do you want me to add this to the?
Yeah, I'm sure the photos first. I'll just get through that. So I took some photos. I've been quite ill this year, so first two photos of the year, and my last photos using the snow because I had to clear it up this week because I'm moving on to a new diorama setup, and I decided I need to get help to clear it up before I die or something of this damn cold. But yes, so there's the triple change of Autobots. I wanted to take a picture with all three of them, and I was just thinking about the awesome introduction, which was in Target 2006, which was just brilliant when they came and beat the utter crap out of Impactor to prove their worth as replacements for Ultra Magnus. And to be quite honest, anyone can replace Ultra Magnus, even really. But anyway, so they are there in all the sort of glory. And there's Springer himself, Studio Series 86 Springer, where I would say if you haven't got him, he's definitely worth to pick up if you haven't got the previous mold. And if you have got the previous molds, because he was part of the Wrecker box set, and he was also released, prior. Obviously, he's got new shoulders, new legs, and that. I think he's a much better figure. Comes with some cool gimmicks, and he comes with some cool accessories. I say he's worth getting.
Primetime Offset from his Jamie to you, I believe. Thank you for the pickup of the week. It's awesome.
You're welcome, Bob. Especially young Jamie, because he's got a fantastic name, so you can tell he's destined for greatness. I also picked up Ghostbusters 40th anniversary. Little sort of 4-inch, well, 3.75-inch figures. It comes looking like a sort of video cassette box, you know, and it's sort of it's been made old, you know, vintage and sort of classic and stuff. So it's quite cool. I really like that as a sort of the gimmick which you've sort of been doing, and it also works with my Ecto vehicle which I picked up last year. So basically, this would be like the sort of mini HasLab version, which they have done. They've done like a massive HasLab, which, you know, has been released. I also picked up some blockies. I've got Starscream, so hopefully all my parts are in there, or I'll be asking Pete for advice on how to contact marketing and stuff. But yes, I'm looking forward to building that. I do like the classic versions of blockies because I feel they're more my level. They're much more complicated to do. They look like the characters. I think they're exceptional. I think it's something that Hasbro should have been doing. Hasbro should have had the characters out by now. Or maybe had different lines of Transformers 1 and support that wonderful franchise or cartoon, because it should have been a wonderful franchise, but the merchandise wasn't there. So it's wonderful to see someone like Blockies supporting Transformers 1 and producing top tier bots, you know, although they don't transform. I also got the Galaxy version of Blockies, which are quite endearing. And they seem to be, I don't know if it's just me, but each box set you go up, they're getting a little bit more advanced and they're becoming more individualized. So it's like they're getting better and better. They're almost becoming like the classic class now, but smaller. Where when the very first box set, I quite liked them, they're quite cool. But I was like, they were kind of generic. But each box set after that, and even the instructions now are starting to become more specific to the character instead of being just a generic set of instructions. So being impressed by that. So well done, Blockies. You're just getting better all the time. Also picked up I'm really gonna have to look at this budget. I've also picked up G.I. Joe Iron Grenadiers, which I love because these guys are Scottish. Well, they're not all Scottish, but you know, they're based in Scotland. G.I. Joe Cobra, Destro's men, you know, who are so not only were these people excellent commandos, excellent soldiers working for Destro, you know, they weren't necessarily evil, but they weren't necessarily good. Well, they weren't really good guys either. They were arms dealers, but I really liked the Scottish connection. I liked the traditional uniforms as well when they had the kilts and stuff. But you know, so it's quite cool with that. So I picked up 3 of these. Normally I only pick up 2, but I made a special allowance for that. And G.I. Joe Sniper, sort of generic figure, Sniper with 3 different heads, so you could interchange, meaning if the sales come, maybe buy another box and you'll have another figure because of the 3 interchangeable heads. But these are G.I. Joe figures, which are human Transformers because they're now in the shared universe, thanks to the wonderful comics who are Skybound are doing right now. And that's all I got this week, unfortunately.
So it's a decent haul.
I was going to say.
Unfortunately, about
only the 20 things, unfortunately. I'm on a budget.
Yeah, I'm sticking to my budget for the year in January.
Like Chelsea stick to a budget.
Right, so we've still got discussion coming up, which is going to be about what if Optimus Prime did not exist. Plus, we'll be talking to Andy about Toy Fu. We've also got socials as well coming up. But before all that, it's time for foreplay and our best favourite, most brilliant pickup from Toy Fu ever. So let's do that.
Lynn, these are sex people.
What do you mean?
They're sex swappers. Lynn, this is DEFCON 1. Look. Look. Don't make the same noise as them. Don't think you want to join in.
Cool, right.
We'll get to it.
My favorite ever pickup from Toy Fu was Skybite. And for those who don't know what Toy Fu is, obviously a charity that raised money for Mary's Mills. We'll get more into that later. When you go to TFN, they just have this huge table, which I swear gets bigger every single year, littered with Transformers. And what's nice is you just end up picking up Transformers from like waves and series that you would never think to do. I've even got Beast Wars. I've got Rhinox up there, which I got from Toy Fu, which I absolutely love. Pete, don't throw up.
I've even got Beast Wars.
I've even got Beast Wars. That's how they expand your mind so much. But yeah, I think my favorite one ever was picking up Skybite from there, which is kind of like a Beast Wars figures, I guess, because he turns into a shark. But it's just one of those toys where you get it, you sit down, it's not too complicated. I was able to transform it after a couple of pints in the bar, which I think is kind of a bit of a tick for a Toy Food transformer you need to be able to take into the bar and transform it there. And he transformed lovely, beautiful. I didn't really know much about the character. It's RID, isn't it? Skybite, and I wasn't really up to date on it. I just thought he looked really cool. And since then, also you find out more about him. I found out about Peter Spelios and all the stuff after that. So he's always stuck into my memory of what a cool transformer. And then it becomes a really good talking point as well. Because when you think you sort of surround yourself, like I used to be a bit like Andy and Jamie, quite a stalwart Hasbro soldier, and would only really collect mainline before I got into other things. And it was nice to be able to get something else. And all of us talk about, I think, Jamie, didn't you order one of these, or you bought?
I bought that because you actually did a review on it on the show. And from your review, I just went, I have to buy that. And it was it's an exceptional toy.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You get this stuff which you would never normally. None of us would probably normally buy that. And I know we've expanded a lot more. And Andy, I know you've bought a lot of the RID. Is it Armada stuff you've been picking up recently?
Unicron Trilogy stuff more than RID, but there's some really cool RID stuff that if you can get hold of it as well, in good condition. And Toy Fu is a wonderful place to pick up a lot of this stuff because, as Andy, I'm sure, will tell us later on, they do tend to like get bits of bots and all the bits and put it all together to make one complete actual good version of it that you can pick up. So yeah.
So that's mine, and it was brilliant. And we were chatting about it on the table, transforming him. I can't remember, it was a few years ago, but it came with all the bits and stuff. I've lost a few bits now, but yeah, that was cool. And it was cheap. Like the prices are always so much better than what you'd sort of pay if you were to try and get them on eBay and stuff. It was a very reasonable price, and it went to a charity. Jamie, pray tell us, what was your favorite pickup from Toy Fu?
I'll tell you, and I've got an epic story to tell about this. If you can share the screen. Yeah. Now, when I said epic story, I might have been lying there. It's not very epic at all, maybe quite boring. But basically, I bought this figure. And I think it was mostly complete apart from the two sort of missile guns for the bike. And the thing about Toy Fu is, when I didn't say I was disappointed, but I went, oh, is there any chance you might have this or something like that? And they were like straight onto it. They went, yeah, actually we do. And they already agreed the price anyway. And they said, we're going to see if we can find it. So it'll be somewhere. They were epically busy. I mean, there's, it's thousands of little hands grabbing stuff all the time and asking questions, and the way they'd have to jump in that knowledge, it must be a nightmare. But these guys do it with a smile on their face, and there was so many of them were trying to help me. And there was this big Scottish guy, and I've forgotten his name as well. And he sort of like he went behind to see if he could find something there and then. But he said, "Tell you what, I'll get your details, and if I find this piece for you, I'll contact you." And sure enough, they did. And, and they'd done that because they knew I was leaving on the Sunday. That was before we decided to do the long weekend as Transformers the show unit. And I managed to go in there, grabbed it on the Sunday morning, and they completed the pieces. And it was just brilliant because they were so busy, they didn't need to do that. They could have waited a while, a couple of months, and maybe posted them out or something like that. But the fact that they went to that effort to find it, was just brilliant. And I tell you, I mean, it was super busy because I was speaking to the guy and you had people just interrupting, because they were excited. It wasn't because they were rude or anything. It was just, exuberance. And when they would realise and stuff, I bet they all done it with a smile and they were so laid back about it. It's like, it's a wonderful team. It must be a wonderful team to work with, and exceptional people like that. And this toy is just majestic. Yeah, it's truly a majestic toy, and I wanted this because I want to do my squid games. This is the thing about it. I thought I want to do my squid fight with Cup and Hot Rod, and I want to do some sort of photos of them fighting. So I don't have a water diorama because the last time I did a water diorama, water was everywhere, and I was nearly in danger of drowning. So this time it'll be unique. The squid's going to be in a desert, fish out of water. But use your imagination. But yes, it's an epic toy. So I was really thankful to Toy Fu about that, and a beautiful toy as well.
Do you know what? Though this is the problem I have is that we're really good at finding taco tanks. We've got a guy who's really, really good at finding them. And having watched people like yourself get it and be so buzzed with it and love it so much, I now have a taco tank because I bought one 2 years ago because everyone was enjoying it so much. It's a phenomenal toy. But it's one of those things that you go, I had no intention of buying one. And then seeing everyone else love it so much, I now have one. And it's like, oh, great. But yeah.
You have to have it. It's a rite of passage. Yeah, it's a rite of passage. I feel like we should get matching tattoos or something now. But yeah.
That's awesome. Cool. I want one now. Andy, favorite pickup from Toy Fu. That's Andy from Transformers the Show.
Right. Are we doing honorary mentions anymore? If we are, I'm going to do a quick one. So, I once got berated for spending so much money at a minicon, and all of the money that I spent went on Toy Fu. So, just thought I'd bring that up while you're here, Andy. And one of my favourite pieces that I picked up at that point was the Galaxy Force Vector Prime. I knew from searching on eBay and stuff, finding them in good condition and complete was a real pain. And you had one, and for a very reasonable price. That's the thing about Toy Fu as well. It's not just that they do great work for charity. They don't price things at ridiculous levels. It's sensibly priced. But that's not actually the one I was going to go through. I just wanted to shout it out. So this was my favourite, and there's a short story as to why. I'll keep it short. So this was this year's, and it was Menasor, and I was desperate to try and get hold of one of these, and these are a nightmare to buy. For anyone who's tried to buy one will tell you. Trying to find them, not broken, complete, whatever. There's just so few of them around. It was one of the figures they released later on, so there just weren't many of them about. And I'd contacted Toy Fu before TFN, main TFN, and I knew that I was going to be working with Primetime Toys and helping them out, so I'd get the chance to be in that trader hall early and go and have a look and a word. And it was you, Andy, I came up to before the show started and the doors opened and said, I don't suppose by any chance you have got a Cybertron Menasor. And I didn't catch the name of the other lad you turned around to chat to about it, but Andy was so helpful and immediately said, I think we've got a sealed boxed one. And it was like, I'm sorry, what? And anyway, they didn't have it to hand, but they said, if you leave it with us, when we find it, we'll come and let you know. And then there was a nervous wait while I was helping, obviously, Morph and the Primetime Toys lads sorting it all out. And lo and behold, the lads did come over. The Toy Fu came through for me, as they so often do. And I just love him. It's one of those things when you're really after something and then you actually get it and you really didn't think you were going to get it. It's a great feeling. I still love him. It might be a bit of a brick in some ways. It might not have the most articulation and all the rest of it. Doesn't have proper hands. Totally get that. Some people say it's a weird design. I don't care. I love it. I love the colours. I just love it. And I am so grateful to Toy Fu, because if it hadn't been for Toy Fu, I probably would not have this figure at all, as I say, because it's so even on eBay, it's so difficult to pick up. So yes, my favourite is from this last year's, God, I keep forgetting it's 2025, last year's TFN, main TFN, and it is Cybertron Menasor.
That is awesome. It looks awesome. You probably should have charged him more, Andy.
I mean, it was enough. But when it's the main thing you're after, you see, you don't mind. You don't mind. I was genuinely chuffed.
Cool. Pete, your favourite pickup? By Knox.
I'm a We know I'm a man of routine and a man of tradition, and I believe that favourite pickup shouldn't always be the best one. But for me, my favourite one was my first, because we never forget our first. Okay, and for me, it was Titans Return Hardhead, because I much like everybody else, we work all year to take a large, sizable war chest to TFN, you know, and it gets to that point on a Sunday afternoon where you bought everything you wanted and you've still got the odd 20 quid burning a hole in your pocket. And I think I got this in 2017, maybe 2016, 2017, and I had 15 quid left in my pocket. And this was on the toy food stall, and someone had kept the card and the plastic shell, and they sellotaped it back together. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to give it for charity. So I walked away with a Titans Return Hardhead, and that reinvigorated me looking for the rest of Titans Return.
That's a good figure.
This was it, and it was gorgeous, and it was in excellent, pristine condition. So yeah, that was me. And you know, some people call me an old romantic, some people call me nostalgic, but I'm just a man.
I've got plenty of names I call you as well.
They definitely call you old. I mean, that's
I'm just a man that's guilty of giving too much. And yeah,
the Super 7.
Titans Return Hardhead was my pick.
If you were going to say I'm just a man standing in front of a Titans Return Hardhead,
standing in front of Toifu, asking for some bots
with my money.
You're right. When you get the odd 20 quid or 30 quid or 10 quid, it's like, what have Toy Food got? Go in there and give it to them. And,
why have I got a feeling he heckled Toy Food down to 20 quid? I've only got 20 quid enough.
It's for the kids. Don't care.
I like the idea that he heckled them. You're rubbish.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Cool. Right, no pressure, Andy, from Toy Food, but this should be the best one because you've had like years of like absolute choice to choose which one was your best one of all these ones coming in. What is your favourite pickup you've got from yourself?
So I don't know about you guys, but I wrecked a lot of my Transformers when I was a kid because I just used to play with them to hell, and they were beaten up and battered and destroyed. And I look back at it now thinking I've wasted so much money having to rebuy toys I've owned for years for my collection. But every year I try to replace 2 or 3 of my G1, G2 toys with collectible versions of them because the ones I've got are just shattered beyond belief. And the one I was trying to find for absolutely ages was Power Master Prime. And it was because all the chrome was just destroyed on mine because it had driven into the wall so many times or into other figures and whatnot. And we got
the wall test. I did that a lot as well.
We got one in that was like pristine condition, and it was it. I was like, tell me how much we're charging for it, and that's me done. So I got a Power Master Prime, but yeah, I'm constantly like, at the moment I'm having this. Got a little Fangry last year. But the joints are a bit tight, so the hero that is Matt Marshall is going to sort the joints out for me as part of his doing all his commissions and little bits and pieces. He's told me he can sort the joints out for it, so that's good. So that's second, but definitely Power Master Prime because it's absolutely pristine, not a mark on it, and it just looks stunning on the shelf, like in the middle of everything else.
I'm jealous, very jealous, and jealous of all the toys you get to see just come through. And I guess you get to. We'll get onto it, Paul. We'll be part of the
hold your horses.
Hold your horses. Stop letting the two Andys get you excited. That's awesome. Thank you. That was foreplay. Are we right to move on to the socials?
Yes, I'm just sharing.
And we might have a new intro song for socials eventually, maybe next week or the week after. Maybe 6 months ago.
more fun making Pete just sing it.
Let's go with the Star Trek one.
Thanks, Tom.
There we go. That will do.
First one this week, Gavin Spence obviously does a lot with Toy Foo. and with TFN and his channel TRDQ, but he's also an exceptional artist. He's just a talented man, isn't he? I don't even know why I'm showing his stuff. Yeah, fucking bastard. But this is fantastic.
If
Can I
you
just
want a
say,
good laugh, I obviously know Gav really well from the Typhoo stuff. So if you go back to some of his early TRDQ videos when he had like 20, 30 followers, and you look at some of the comments on them, I am very facetiously making childish comments, and his fans absolutely annihilate me. They get proper on board. You wish you knew Gav. You wish you were as good as Gav, and all that kind of. And for about 3 months, it was a running joke between me and Gav that I would incite the mob. And then the mob got so big, I got a little bit scared, so I stopped.
I do find British sarcasm. A lot of international people don't get it sometimes, and it's a dangerous thing. I've had to tell some of the old people, you know, who comment in some of my posts, like, maybe don't use sarcasm because you're just inciting violence. You know, just don't.
It humoured me for a while, then I started to get a bit scared, so I stopped.
You did your bit, mate. Now he's an international Transformers giant, and he is a giant, isn't he? He's a big lad. Soundwave Reddit Eject 44 on Twitter, reenacting that scene from the movie where Starscream gives Megatron an undeserved kick in the ribs, but this time reenacting the photo with Yellow Park's AMK, Starscream, and Megatron. I've tried to resist getting them, but the downside with doing this segment on the show is you start to see people's wonderful pictures and you go, oh man, I got to buy it now. So
but remember, they might be doing this one is the rough and ready one where it's, you know, he's got battle damage and stuff. They might be worth waiting for the cartoon version, which is much cleaner.
Okay. Raptron or Macatron, showing that had Arcee been a little bit closer, she'd have sorted Hot Rod out and stopped him. We had this discussion last week, didn't we? He didn't really cause the death of.
He did cause the death. It's absolutely no mistake with that.
No,
it was Hot Rod.
Did we discuss this last week?
Yeah, and it was Ultra Magnus.
Hot Rod caused the death.
Oh yeah, now I remember. Yeah, I feel like that was just a wind-up, John. Because he lost Ultra Magnus, wasn't it? Or did I don't know what you mean. We're seriously blaming Ultra Magnus at that point. Okay, fair enough.
But exceptional artwork.
Can I just say before you move on, because Macatron, as he is on some social media, and Raptron 1978, as he is on Blue Sky, I didn't realize it until today. I only saw him advertise it. He has his own Redbubble store as well, so you can actually pick up his artwork and stuff like that. Is brilliant. Wow. I've been having a look at some of his back catalogue, and there's some incredible artwork in there. So. Yeah, worth having a look if that's your bag and you're liking some of these pictures, I suppose. I'm not sponsored or anything, by the way. I don't make any money out of it. I wish I did. No, actually, I wish I could draw like that. Then I really would make money out of it. But go on, carry
on. Friend of the show, Spider Father, showing are these the Iron Factory Leo Kaiser stuff?
Yeah, the Breast Force lads.
The extra hands that you get included in a pack, it's just Iron Factory have obviously just smashed it out of the park with this set.
That's a great photo. I don't know why, but there's just something about the pose and everything. It just
has a lot of life and a lot of personality, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't want to get that figure now.
Yeah, but then you need to get the rest.
No, I know.
I have 3 of them, and I'm just hunting for the other couple. So
no offense to Kato, but I'm not interested. You're not getting this, Kato. Oh, that's nice.
Haven't we already covered this in the news as well?
Yeah, it's a bit strange.
Because Bob put this
thing. Bob sabotaged.
And then you have to weigh up. You have to get the balance of like both sides of the coin, like the people who don't like it need to be able to need to hear their voice. Kato's
Well, we have discussed it before.
I'm
as we-
another one.
If you'd been here, you'd have known.
But this is Social's Corner, not people who are not buying certain toys. No,
Yeah, this is a hotbed of positivity. Right, let's show something I think's crap. If we're doing that, wow, this is going to get.
To be honest, I didn't realise we were going to cover it in the news. It also stuck out like a sore thumb.
It's fine. I'm only one. Ooh, nice.
So
I think I shared this.
Yeah,
I think this is me.
and I call Prime. So missing link Prime in fabulous artful. I'm torn. I love doing this bit of the show, but I hate it as well because I just wish I could. I wish I had a talent like these guys, right? But it's nice to be able to appreciate it.
You do good photos. I think that's the whole point of Social Corner is we are aware everyone's got talent.
It's magnificent. Yeah, no, it's magnificent, and I think it's without blowing our own trumpet, it's nice that we have a section to be able to showcase stuff like this because even this example from Nerdicon Prime, exceptional talent. And this was shared by Dr. Lockdown that whilst everyone thinks this is Arcee, this is actually missing link Michael Jackson. In Thriller, it will be Steve, you charmer. So missing link Michael Jackson will be out very soon. Certainly in the Moonwalker colours.
Not a great.
And I'm still still waiting for Shozy to get their allocation of stock, but the more people that get Masterpiece, Power Master Prime,
it's almost starting to convince me of all the good photos I've seen. Spider Barber did exceptional photos a couple of weeks ago as well. Yeah.
And
Just
with the
remember, though,
one, it's just such a it's just such a pain in the bum to take the Optimus Prime, the body bit out. Like it's a right arse to get him out. If this is quite simple, which it kind of appears it is, it's like, because even I am like, I kind of want this.
You've got to remember though that this is based off the kind of animation model for Ginrai from the cartoon rather than the original Power Master Prime toy. So whether Hasbro will do their own version of this and do a bit of remodeling, put it out as Power Master Prime, I don't know. But I don't know. I like it, and I do. Every time I see more of it, I think I probably should have jumped on this. But you never know.
The gold, I'd say it's probably more gold than it is yellow, but the background, certainly the backdrop really makes the colours pop. I think exceptional.
Or mustard.
A mustard, if you will, from SU Domain on Blue Sky.
Yeah, I want hot dogs. I just want hot dogs.
now I want hot dogs. Cheers, Jamie. That's great.
and that's Social Corners for this week.
All right, cool. Well, let's finish off then with discussion. Tonight's discussion is what would happen if Optimus Prime was never there.
We now return to the Transformers.
And Toy Fu. Let's start with the Toy Fu one first. We finish off, with the what if Optimus Prime wasn't there discussion. So, Andy, how long have you been doing Toy Fu for now? And do you want to give us a brief load on how you got into it and what it is for those who don't know?
So, I first came to the conventions at the last Starter Assembly. That was my first experience of it at all. And I knew nobody. I knew nothing around. And I was taught from a sports thing to pick in the biggest person and go, and if you can crack that, you've sorted. And ironically, it was Gav. So I ended up in a quiz team with Gav, and he was like, we do this thing and this and that. And so I was like, yes, I just got to know him over the weekend. And then I volunteered at the convention. So if you remember when we had the panel room in the pavilion area near the swimming pool, so the panel room was down by the swimming pool. I ran all the sound in there for 2 years, so I was doing all the sound mixing for them. But when I wasn't doing that, I found myself just behind the Toy Fu table because they were all my friends, and it became a bit more of a social thing. And then I just thought, this is the bit I'm really enjoying, the social side of it, so I'm going to go do that full time. And then it just got mad. It got way worse during COVID because we did the big broadcast thing where we were doing live streaming from Nick's house and parceling things up and sending emails out and taking money, and it's just got massive. I joined when we had like 4 tables, and now we have like 9. It's just insane.
It's huge.
It's just massive, and it's amazing that everyone comes up to us and chats to us and donates to us and wants to talk to us about why they're donating, and everyone's got stories they want to share with us, which is phenomenal. It's become like this massive thing now.
Do you accept everything, like donations, including GoBots?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So
for charity.
It's a weird one. People might not be aware of the thing is that we also do buy quite a lot of stock as well, which I know people might not be fully aware of. They might think we just run off donations. Donations are amazing because they're 100% profit. Everything we sell from that we make 100% on. But to get some of the amazing stuff that we do get, we do buy a lot of collections and stuff. And why not for a bit of a cheap plug? I think you're all in for a real treat with the collection we bought this year, because we have got an absolute hell of a surprise for Birmingham. We've spent a near fortune on a boxed G1 and G2 collection, and some of it's still sealed. So it cost a fortune, but having weighed up and spoke to the guy, and he gave us a decent deal on it so that we made our profit. We explained our story, and it got shipped up to our holding in about 10 boxes, like massive moving out house boxes. It's enormous, and we've not even started cataloguing that yet, but that's Birmingham's big deal, I think, is what we're going to look at pitching that. And then hopefully for some of the stuff, we've got a really, really cool Japanese animated lot as well, which is a lot of the rare stuff that people don't often see. So yeah, we managed to pick up quite a lot of, we do a lot of sort of like looking on Japanese auction sites and buying a lot of the things from there, and it's just to try and keep up with people's demand is getting more and more crazy.
Have you bought any Micromen, like the moon-based Micromen?
I can honestly say I don't know, because there's 3 or 4 of us that do the buying, and then we collate it all together in a central spreadsheet at some point near the convention where we price it all. We have like a group chat where we say, oh, this looks good, what do you think? Or how much would you think we should offer for this for big auctions? And then obviously we get people like, there was this amazing bloke who contacted me completely out of the blue and said, I've got 10 boxes of Transformers I'd like to donate to Toifu. And I was like, oh, do you come to conventions? He's like, no, I don't have anything to do with the Transformers world, just someone gave me our name. And when I got it, it was like G1 stuff with guns, and we've got Pretender shells with the Pretenders inside, and it's utter insanity. It was 10 boxes. I was like, I've total, this cost like 60 quid to post, mate. Can we reimburse your postage? No, that can go to charity as well. And it's things like that it's just phenomenal. Like, my missus hates it because our garage is like full of stock, and our house, it overflows into our house, and you know. And
Where do you live, Andy?
Let's leave it at Leeds, eh?
Leeds.
Yeah.
I've got family in Leeds. Well, I'll pop down.
But it's things like that where people contact our Facebook page and say, I've got some donations, do you mind if we post you them? And I'm like, yeah, no worries. You know, I work from home a couple of days a week, so I can be around. And when they arrive, I'm like, oh my God, I just didn't realise it was the volume that you were going to donate is phenomenal. And then I've got to work out how I get that to our central lockups, and then how I get it from there to the conventions. But that's part of the fun of it, isn't it? Working out logistics.
And how much of your, you've got a job outside of this, how much of your time over the course of the year does this take up? Is it a weekly thing, or is it just a 3-4 weeks run up? Does it really start to kick off for TFN?
It's an all year thing. We have about 2 weeks off after Birmingham. And then after that 2 weeks, we go, oh God, there's the November convention in 2 months. We haven't thought about that. And then the minute the November one finishes, we start thinking about the March one. And it's all year round, but we're a really good bunch of friends. So we've got a couple of groups on the go where we constantly chat about things and talk about, you know, how we're going to do the pricing or what's going on. And so I work in data and tech, so a lot of the stuff like manning the Facebook pages, doing the printing. Like you might notice, we've all got these nice labels now, price labels. So the guys came up with that idea. I found some software that we could do it on. So we make the labels and I send them to Nick, who cuts them out and prints them up and then sticks them on the toys. And it's just like a production line across 4 different counties. It's crazy.
In terms of marketing, go on, Pete.
No, I was just going to say, how do you decide what you take to like each convention, right? Because you just said you've got stuff that goes on probably for miles. How do you determine what you take?
It's difficult because half the time, if I'm totally honest with you, we don't know what we've got in some of these boxes. We've got boxes in our storage containers that haven't been to a convention for 5 years. And we just haven't had the time to get to them. And we've got mountains of comics, mountains of graphic novels, and it's just like there's nowhere to put them on the table. People want the toys.
Is it possible
Go on.
to? No, I was just thinking: is it possible to get 12 tables now this year or something like that?
No,
and
so
just
we
a
have the
comic table?
biggest. We have the biggest dealer fit allotment that you're recommended to allow. And to be honest with you, we don't want any more. It's chaos enough. But so how we decide on what we're going to take tends to be we have our 2 or 3 big ticket items we've bought that year, which then we'll probably try and promote wider on socials and get people to decide what they want to do because they're like the wow items. And then everything is labeled in our storage containers, so we tend to try and get 4 or 5 boxes of every line where possible. But I know I say this to everyone on the Saturday. What will be out tomorrow is completely different, and it's just because I hadn't a clue what's in some of those boxes because I've not had a chance to open them. We start setting up on 11 o'clock on Friday. We still go in at 7:30 on Friday night, and there'll be 12, 15, 20 boxes we've not touched. So when people come to us and go, have you got one of these? It's like, I don't know. I've got a stock list that should tell me we have, but I couldn't tell you where. Yeah, exactly. So I knew we had one, but I couldn't tell you where it was. It was in those boxes somewhere. So it's just about trying to take as big a range as possible because we want to hit as many different markets and target markets. And, there's a real core group of people who buy movie toys. There's a real core group of people who buy the G1, G2 stuff, who buy the Chug stuff, who buy Time to Turn. So we need to be able to hit every market we can. Animated is hugely popular, but it's so hard to get for a decent price. And as you mentioned earlier, we won't rip people off. So we're not going to charge over the odds or charge what's deemed as eBay prices. We try to make sure that everyone can go away with a nice toy and that we then help fund the charity as well. So, like for March, for example, for the Minicon, to try and keep costs down, I will drive the stock there in my car. I bought a bigger car to travel stock around rather than hiring a van. So, but for the Birmingham one, we have to hire a big long wheelbase van because we need like 80 boxes. Whereas for the Minicons, we need about 20 boxes. So that kind of works out how much, because we only get 3 hours to set up for a Minicon. So we obviously can't bring 80 boxes of stock.
So those boxes, have you already got the prices inside the boxes? We decided
that's what we do all year round, yeah. So we have central spreadsheets and that kind of thing where we have prices, we chat about it. Then I make the price tags and print them off, send them to Nick, who prints them off, cuts them up, and then Nick and Andy Kane will price up the toys in their retrospective areas. So hopefully we arrive with the box stock that can just go on the table. And then somebody gives a donation that's a massively, amazingly rare thing that we really want to sell. And it's like, oh my God, how much is that worth? What do we sell that for? And everything goes out the window and all the planning disappears. It's like, where can that go? That'll definitely sell. And it's that balance between definitely trying to sell it and keeping it for a future year because it'll sell in a future year anyway.
Have you got some examples of your big ticket items? I know you had the Black Zarek, didn't you, that Tony Thrussell picked up a couple of years ago. What else have you had? And have you had a HasLab unicorn yet, or was that one which you'd love to have?
We've cleared 2 of them through. So there's a running joke, which is that if you work for Toyfu, you only rent toys from Toyfu. Because what we'll do is I'll buy something and someone will be like, I don't want it anymore, so they donate it back to Toyfu. And then some of us will buy it back again, even though we've already donated it recently because it's missed it. So we've sort of like brokered a couple of unicorn sales for people. So they wanted to sell it and donate the profits, like split the profits with us. So we've done that with a couple of unicorn sales. Ironically, two of the Toyfu guys ended up buying them. So we have loads of HasLab stuff because we try to order a couple. So that in a couple of years' time, we've got that's the idea. The Black Zarek obviously was rare. We had an animated Stunticons box set from BotCon this year.
Which Jay Swags picked up.
Yeah.
I was stood next to him when he was looking at the set thinking, oh, that's a rare one.
We've had most BotCon sets come through. We bought, I think it was it 2 years ago now, we bought a job lot of Constructicon, any form of Combiner Wars that were boxed. There was this one guy had like 5 Lio guys are still sealed in the boxes.
Wow.
There was a really convoluted backstory to it though. That was like he'd split up with his missus, he'd gone missing, and his missus was selling his collection or something. We never really got the full story, but we bought it and sold it.
So, I love the idea he came back and it had gone.
yeah. But we had like hundreds of these Combiner Wars sets. We've still got loads of them because some of them, as I say, we had like 6 or 7 of the same set. And it was like, but then like the Megatronus one went instantly because obviously it's quite a rare set. It was still in good condition, but some people are crazy when they come to us with like collection lists, and it's like, why do you own 10 of that figure? Who wants 10 of that figure? No one wants one, never mind 10.
Starts
I
looking
feel
nervously around his collection.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about how many Vector Primes I've got. Anyway.
Sorry, just having a coughing fit.
I was just going to ask, because you did mention just then, just like the commitment that all of you who help, like volunteer with Toy Fu, did you genuinely get a bigger car because in the back of your mind you were thinking, I'm going to need to transport this stuff? I mean, because that is commitment. You know, you could have got something a bit sporty, or but you went, no, I'll get something I can fit more boxes in for the conventions and everything.
Yeah, and I regret it because it just means I'm ferrying boxes around the country. But no, it's one of those things that it makes everyone's life easier, it makes our life easier, and it's just one of those things you think about. So like, there was a couple of years ago, because I used to be a lecturer actually, so I had a bit more leeway in the summer, and I changed jobs a couple of years ago. So I used to head over to the lockup, fill the van and my car so we could take more, and then come home and then head to Birmingham.
Wow.
But now it's just we've bought a bigger van because we've gone, let's just buy a bigger van. Let's all rent a bigger van for the week. So, yeah, it's crazy. But we all work full-time jobs, so this is literally all just side of desk on an evening, or usually on a lunch break, or whatever it is. It's because you've got to, if we're bidding on auctions, it's like, oh god, that one finishes at 7 a.m. I have to check that, and it's madness.
It's insane. And with the mini cons, was it when these started to happen, and there was 2 across the space of a year? Was that a case of, because obviously this must be quite exciting doing it each year, but loads and loads of work. Was it a case of like, oh, brilliant, we get to do it more, or was it a case like, fuck, we have to do it 3 times a year now?
I think, in all honesty, it's a bit 50-50. So, like the Reading one, I can't get to Reading. It's a long schlep down, and already taking plenty of holiday to do the other ones, and that kind of thing. So, I gave Reading a miss, but 3 or 4 of the other guys took that one on. But then, likewise, 3 or 4 of them are going to give the Manchester one a miss, and we'll run the Manchester one, and then we're all there pretty much for the Birmingham one. So as long as we've got representation, we're pretty much sorted. But yeah, it's 50-50. Half it was like, great, more chance to make money. Oh my god, another convention to sell it.
Do you ever do you ever find yourself competing against other traders because you're going after people's collections, or is it because people just directly contact you and it's pretty much easy from there?
I don't really know, to be honest. A lot of it tends to be people, we see things that posted on sort of like eBay, or we see things posted on, say, a Transformers Facebook group or something like that, and we will contact them and say, look, this is what we're willing to offer, and we're quite open and honest. We'll say, we offer this much percentage because we're a charity anyway. If you went to another dealer, you'd probably get 10-15% more because they'd be able to, it's their profit they make, but we offer a little bit lower because of this. And to be honest with you, 80-90% of the time people go with that because they like it, but we can't spend a fortune. We've got limited space to store it, we've got limited stuff that we need, and we buy maybe 2 collections and we're done for the year. And then it's like, right, now we'll just pick up the odd bits like the taco tanks because we know they're going to sell no matter what.
They're exceptional.
Exactly. And any other cool Japanese bits that people might not have seen for a long time, and we like to be able to, oh wow, they've got that, I've not seen that for years. It's nice to have something on the table that might not necessarily make a huge profit, but it's a bit of a wow piece that we can talk about beforehand, and maybe draw people in. The negative is there's we probably get 20 people after the same figure that sold at 9:05, and people on a Sunday morning are still asking for said figure, and it's like, no, that went like first thing yesterday. But it's it's nice that a lot of people do just come up and chat, and I don't know what I want, but I'm buying from Toy Fu, and that's a really nice side of things. And yeah, I don't know. We don't get into bidding wars with people. If there's a bidding war going on, we'll just walk away because there's so many other options for us to get stock that we. Plus,
you have the customs. You have the customs as well. You sell, don't you?
Yeah, we have Matt Marshall's phenomenal customs, which. Yeah, it's an expensive thing because I always buy one of each of them. So I look up there and I've got about 6 Matt Marshall customs because they're amazing. And that's the other thing that I don't think people necessarily realise, that all of us who work on Typhoon, none of us do any form of discount. We buy a shed load of stuff from Typhoon, but at the price it's labelled at, because it's for the right cause. And as I say, people genuinely rent from Typhoon because the amount of times it gets donated back. And if you ever want to ask me about it, Turnbull is the best at it. I have known Turnbull buy something back 2 hours after he's donated it because he had donated regret.
Donated.
Yeah, but
do you get people coming up with like bags or toys at the actual TFN? Does that still happen quite a lot?
Yeah, loads. So we have a box behind the table now, which we go put donations there. We don't have time to sort through them at the moment. We'll just put them all in there, and by lunchtime Saturday we're on to like a third box last year, which was just phenomenal. We were just blown away by that, and we were getting to the point where like we just need to take this back to the van because we're running out of space behind here because there's so much stock. And I think the running joke was 2 years ago we went home with more than we came with, and we still sold a fortune, but the boxes of donations we got was just insanity.
When you what was I going to say, when you take it back, so they come out, they donate the toys. I can't remember what I was going to say then.
While you're just trying to remember, Paul, can I just say my first proper interaction with Toy Fu was 2019. It was the year I first met you and Jamie. And if you remember, I disappeared for a short time because I got there and I had some bots to donate to Toy Fu, and I spotted Nick and recognised him and approached him in the bar with probably some of you guys. You may have been there, Andy. I can't remember now. And kind of handed over these bots and had a quick chat. And then somebody, I cannot remember the lad's name now. I want to say he was called Andy. But he said, "Oh, we're just about to move the stock into the trader hall if you want to give us a hand." And I just, "Yeah, sure." And abandoned my wife for about an hour and a half while I helped you move box. And to go into your rooms where obviously you were keeping the stock, and oh my God, it was just like wall-to-wall boxes. I mean, how you guys even managed to get into the beds and the bathroom and everything else. But it was really good fun. And, you know, it was, I could see like what you said about the social side of it and the kind of the camaraderie and everything, because everybody was laughing and joking, even though you're lugging these boxes. And, you know, if you're lucky, you've got one of those trolley things to load them all up and shift them. But if not, you're just picking up a box and you're just carrying the damn thing, aren't you?
I think we've got better at sort of like looking after ourselves a little bit more as well, because we've kind of like come up with some semi-unwritten rules that we stop at 7:30 and go for something to eat over to Resort World. So we've started to like book tables at Resort World so that we are forced to go and have a break and eat together and socialise. And I think on the Friday last year was great because I never get much chance to go in the bar because I'm so exhausted. I just go back to bed and crash. And last year was the first year I was like, my one vow was I was going to get down to the bar and have a chat with people I don't often see, because normally it's like they come to the table, I have 5 minutes with them, then I have to go, I'm really sorry I've got to dash, and you know, and that's not enjoying the social side of it. And I just vividly remember like you guys were all sat to the left of us and I was sat with Mello and Ken, and it was just great. We just had a real good chat for about 45 minutes. It was the first chance I had to catch up with them properly for ages outside of Twitter and everything. And that led to then me actually getting up to go for breakfast with them. And, you know, that has really evolved now to be like, we realise how important that side of it is a bit more, rather than just, we're up at 6, we're in the dealer hall at 6, restocking, you're doing this. And I think we're just learning to be a bit more, you know, care for ourselves so we can do better, really.
Well, it's kind of like the opposite for the Transformers the show, lads, because we, on the Saturday for the, you know, we all obviously get the early ticket. So we're in there eating a breakfast, both watching ourselves, you know, the first one to leave, we'll all leave, like, you know, to make sure we get into that queue bright and early so we can get through that doors.
As early as possible for me. I don't like to be...
Sometime mid to late afternoon, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah.
Is it 5 o'clock? I didn't notice.
As a trader now, I just beautiful. Look at that. As a trader now, I just walk in. But I still remember that first time with me and Jamie sat in the queue playing Super Mario Kart on his was it your
Nintendo Switch?
Yeah,
only the final stuff.
And then Paul just said, we were like, "Paul, where are you?" And you just sent us a picture of you in bed. Like, no, it wasn't that picture. It was.
Yeah, well, we have to be up early, don't we? Because the Sunday's restock morning from the Saturday, because obviously Saturday it's been pillaged. And usually on the Saturday morning we're like, on the Friday night it'll be fine. We'll get there sorted, not a problem. And we got there on the Saturday morning. I was like, why did we do more last night?
You're right though, because I was helping Primetime Toys out like this year just gone, and on I think it was on the Saturday or no, it was the Sunday. They said to me about, oh, we need to restock, and I think it was me and Paddy went to kind of and trying to lug boxes and get them past the queues of people who were still there trying to get in without I mean, we're having to ask people to move just to try and get through. We have more toys. Move. We have more toys for you. And it was mad. Absolutely, I wouldn't want to be doing it during the daytime again.
Looking at one of those comments which just came up, is you've had a lot of news articles that seem to be last year, and it's been quite consistent. You know, there seems to be other news stations picking you up first. It's like the BBC, and then it's someone else, and that must be wonderful to see you recognised and also had interviews with some of these news.
Yeah, it's amazing. And again, the guy from the BBC article just contacted us out of the blue. He actually goes to TF Nation in Birmingham, the guy who wrote it. And he was very much like, you know, we're looking for some really good news stories. We'd love to do a story on Typhoo. And I was like, yeah, we can do that. Let me get like Gav on, because Gav's like massive personality. He's great in these things. Hence why we sent him out to the news channels and whatnot. And they were like, so we did the article, and then Mary's Meals got in touch with us again, and they were like, so they get in touch with Nick and went, we just want to know why we get this massive donation from this random bloke every year, and you're like one of our biggest donors. Can you just tell us a bit more? And so you explain the story, and they're like, oh yeah, can we help you with that in any way? And he was like, well, yeah, could you do some media around it? So they invited Gav to their headquarters to do the second piece, which was the news article where Mary's Meals themselves did a little bit and Gav did it. And he was like, my God, this is just getting far too crazy now. It's like even the charity are properly picking up where one of their biggest donors, and they'll do anything they can to help us and assist us. And it's great. It's lovely, but it's a bit crazy at the same time.
Do you get free meals?
No.
I'll be back after that wonderful comment.
They should give you free meals for the amount you do. But no, and a bit about the charity. How did you get involved with Mary's Meals? Was that through Nick? And
yeah, so it was the one. It was the charity that Nick chose, and it was the one that was sort of like quite close to a lot of people's hearts around the community where Nick is and where he lives, and sort of like the social community he goes round. And I think it came about really because a lot of us were a bit. It sounds awful, but there's a lot of downtime at a convention, and when you've walked the deal hall once, it's a bit like Nick and some of the other guys don't drink either, so there's not that drinking culture there where they could just go and sit in the bar and have a few beers and whatnot. So it was a bit like, well, what can we do with our time now? And it's kind of the reason I volunteered the first time was because I just had nothing to do. And it was when it first started, I was like, we'll have a table and sell a few toys for a charity, it'll be great. And now it's like crazy. We've got this massive monolith table that just, and every year we're trying to work out the best way to get as much stock on display as possible that we can see and show off. And even then it's like, oh my God, the trucks still are full and we're just not even anywhere near it.
I wish we had stuff to play through. Go on, Andy.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I wish we had some photos of, I wish I thought to take some when I was in there, of the size and variety of the toy food table, because it's just this long stretch of awesomeness, and it's very, very risky to your wallet. But if you spend all your money at Toy Foo, at least you're giving it to a good cause. Not that anywhere else isn't, but Toy Foo is as a charity, isn't it? So,
and it is, and it's the thing is that everyone who's on that stall wants to go shopping elsewhere as well, because we all want to buy like the new toys, we all want to buy the new lines and stuff, and it's about trying to find the time to. Well, as I joked earlier, you know, I end up buying stuff from Moff because he's bullied me into fans toys. But you know, I'll always go to like In Demand and Kapow, and mainly to chat to the guys, you know, Nick and Andy and co, just to catch up with them, and then that becomes Andy suggesting a third-party Dinobot, which is stunning, by the way. I don't know if you've.
Is that New Age?
Yeah.
There you go, Pete.
Just a really cool Dinobot, and I end up buying that, and then I come back and I buy something else from Toy Foo, and that's why I'm skint.
That's why we're all skint, Andy.
Yeah.
Well, listen, thanks so much for the work you do, and like not just the work you do for charity, the absolute amazing Transformers you provide us. It's such a huge bit of the trader hall, and there's nothing really you can get. All the other stores are quite a lot of new stuff, brilliant toys and things, but having like those 8 tables, and it's funny because I never thought about how you put the amount of effort into making sure you have brilliant stuff, because no offense, but if you just got the stuff coming in, it might be a whole table full of like Baver Studio Series or something. There's so much. It's such an.
We could do that. We could fill our entire stall with that if you wanted us to.
What is the one you've got? What is the toy? You must have one which just turns up all the time. You're like, oh, Another combiners class calls.
It's that god
Star.
awful giant cheetah thing.
Supreme Cheetor.
Yeah.
Peter is a big fan of that, aren't you, Pete?
It's huge. And do you know what the problem with it is we try to shift it every year for $5 because it takes up so much space. Yeah, well, there you go. But it's enormous. It's like you can't put it on the table, you can't do anything with it. It's end up going back in the box. And we try to sound like, would you like to buy this? And people are like, no, I'm all right. Great.
Pound.
We used to have a section, didn't we, called Crap Transformer Corner for a while.
Yeah.
People made a crap transformer, and one of the ones that got sent in was a Supreme Cheetor, and a broken one at that. So it wasn't even complete. It was. To anyone who likes it, good for you. But oh god, it was awful.
I suppose you must get a lot of mint in box Supreme Cheetah for good reason.
We've had a couple, but a lot of it is they're just awful toys.
Actually, no, they're great toys, and you should definitely pick one up at Toy Food.
No.
And when you bought it, do you know who you should give it to? Pete, because he absolutely loves
You're
them.
such a prick.
You changed your name to Peter on the screen.
You literally have Peter.
But I keep forgetting to change it back.
You live off it. You love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love
Can I just say, I've noticed this episode is a unique special episode in the sense I haven't swore this entire episode.
Hey, you're still time, mate.
It's not over yet.
Yeah.
You've been off the
right.
cough medicine.
I'm the good one out of these four.
Fine. I mean, I'm feeling like you're challenging me.
It's almost like the people at Blockies are watching.
There's a few questions.
Oh, you tease me.
I'm Jamie Liddell.
Anyway,
Quiet one. There's a few questions from the chat. If that's all right, Andy. So Jacob said he's got questions. Is there any chance you have the rare studio series, the ones like Bone Crusher from the first movie Deluxe Lockdown, or Bone Crusher from 2007?
I'm going to say yes, simply because there's about 12 boxes of studio series and movie toys that are currently unsorted, because we just haven't had a chance to get to them. But we find a lot of the rarer stuff gets bundled into there. And we have in the past had a few rare ones, because a lot of the movie stuff tends to be like 10, 15, 20 quid. It tends to be that similar price point. And then every now and then it's like, oh, 40, 50, we'll put that on a shelf rather than on the front. So yeah, we do pick up quite a few bits and pieces of them, but I couldn't tell you what we've got at the moment, because it is literally just a case of we're still trying to go through and sort everything out ready for the both big conventions this year.
Sunstreaker said if anyone has any specific figures thereafter, I'm guessing more sort of the rare stuff rather than sort of like Combiner Wars, Hardheads. But if anyone's in specific ones thereafter, can they approach you to bring it to TFN?
I'm going to be honest here and say it's probably not best, because we have so much stuff to sort out ahead of TFN that if we don't tend to do pre-orders because we won't want to let anyone down. And our biggest thing is that we didn't want to say to people, yes, we'll bring that for you, and then forget it, because we just feel dreadful. So we tend to just say, with anything like that, come and check the table, come and ask us, because if not on the table, we can probably tell you like we did with you, Andy, and stuff like that. So please don't feel you can't approach us, but we don't tend to do any pre-orders or requests, just because the answer's probably we will have it, but we just don't want to let people down because we'd feel awful.
No, that's fine. Makes sense. Another layer of complexity. Any questions, gents, before we finish it off? Jamie, Pete, Andy?
I would say hopefully you might have a table for exclusive Japanese Micromasters. Especially
Jamie, would you like to buy some exclusive Japanese Micromasters and Micromen figures?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, Andy. Yeah, because I would rather.
I do know that there's been a mountain of Japanese stuff arrive into the country, and I think it's the Encore Fort Maxes. We've got quite a few of those, or a variation of the Fort Max, the Japanese ones, because I keep getting sent pictures of new boxes arriving that are opened and then they're sealed Fort Maxes. I'm like, how do you find so many? But there is definitely a lot of stuff arriving from Japan, so I wouldn't put it past us, and I'll keep an eye out and let you know if I see anything.
Cool. Bro. Right. So, final bit of the show. What would Transformers look like if Optimus Prime? The question we were asking was who would be the leaders. We'd love to know in the chat as well. So, if there was no Optimus Prime, which is a figment of Bob Budiansky's imagination. It never came to life on paper. Who would take over? Who would be the leader? Guys, have you thought about this at all? This was your homework. Gave you
yes,
on Monday.
I did, and I thought about it. And
Jamie,
the only
thank you.
answer would be they would mostly all be in camps.
I was going to say they'd have lost. They'd be dead. That was my answer.
And that's the comic version and the cartoon version, because in the cartoon version, Optimus Prime was the new type of prototype warrior to fight the Decepticons. So I presume if he didn't come around, but other new versions, which will probably follow in suit, like Ultra Magnus, etc., wouldn't have came around as well, following on from that logic, because he was the first one, the progenitor of the Autobots to fight back. And in the comics, the Autobots, Transformers didn't originally transform. It was kind of like, you think of Transformers 1, spoilers, they didn't have cogs. And it was the Decepticons that came up with the transformation cogs to come up and turn themselves into weapons. And then the Autobots followed suit. And then you had Optimus Prime rise up to lead the Autobots, who were losing at that point, but to make a last sort of stand and to push back and transform themselves into a sort of a weird kind of artillery piece. Big gun thing, red with little wheels on both sides, but it looked kind of cool. And he was pushing back. So without Optimus Prime to rally the troops in, I honestly think, they would have been all in camps.
It's weird that they did the opposite in the comic book to what they did in the cartoon. Because in the cartoon, it was the Autobots were the first ones to discover how to find a way to transform, and they used that, and then the Decepticons copied them. And then in the comic books, completely opposite way around. But if you had to pick a leader, someone to take over, it depends whether we're considering all of the cast that exists in Transformers, as opposed to like what we had in '84 in the original cast. If it's all of the cast, there's loads of options, really. I'll go with Thunderclash because, he's like the Ace Rimmer of Transformers. So screw it. Let's stick him in charge.
Lots of people saying Prowl Springer. I agree. I think they both make good leaders, and they do in their own ways. I think mine, as a kid, if I go back to 6-year-old Paul, I think it's got to be Jetfire. For me, I just thought he was just a natural leader. Such a cool voice as well. The leader's commanding voice when he speaks.
Was there a point where he was going to be the lead? Because he was on a lot of very early Transformers.
He was certainly leading the Autobots in Target 2006 when Optimus Prime was basically taken into the Nightmare realm, displaced by Galvatron and Cyclonus and Scourge, Skywarp and the Jets. Basically, Jetfire or Skyfire, whatever you wanted to call him, he stood up and led the Autobots, which was quite cool for being the first Earth-born Autobot.
Pete.
There's only one answer in there. There's only one answer. It's Grimlock. He was the smartest. He was the fastest.
Fastest?
Yeah.
I've seen his stats on.
We've just killed Optimus Prime, all right? Logic goes out the window. No, but they'd have had a fight. This war would have ended ages ago if Grimlock had been in charge, because
everyone would be done. I've got something to argue against that. When Grimlock was in charge a couple of times, he kind of messed things up quite drastically. He was also trying to get his Centurion friend rebuilt quick, sometimes at the expense of other proven Autobot warriors. He
lost the blaster. There you go. Can't be that.
Yeah,
good.
he lost the blaster. He had a bit of an ego. And when he was a leader, Simon Furman felt it was such a bad idea that they removed the whole Earth Defense Force continuity from Transformers.
That's interesting what Skywarp said. Jetfire was pitched as the leader in mainland Europe, but due to some complications around the Optimus Prime and Diaclone license with MB. Interesting.
It's like Soundwave was on the front cover of the UK comic, wasn't it? Because Megatron at that point wasn't available, so they had to stick a toy on that was, so they could sell them.
And because Soundwave is the best Decepticon.
Well, yeah, that too. Soundwave is great. Soundwave's awesome.
I would 100% have gone for someone like Springer. I think Springer, you've got your triple changer. He's a strong character. He's got swords and guns. That would have been my call.
Good.
Who would you have gone for, Paul?
I said Jetfire.
Oh, you did, yeah,
failing
sorry.
Jetfire, probably Wheelie. Wheelie was probably got
I knew someone was going to say
the
wheelie.
commanding presence
I
to lead the
think-
Autobots.
Speaking in
there's only
rhyme.
Would he one on his
That would be
answer?
annoying at all.
And that's someone who's probably most like Optimus Prime in the sense it's Fortress Maximus from the G1 comics. You know, he had the same sort of noble attitudes as Fortress Maximus. He was an artist. You know, he was an artist that became a warrior and turned himself into a fighting battle station to take on the Decepticons. He was the one to take his head off first to the Nebulons. You know, he had no problem about putting himself and sacrificing himself, and he never seemed to have really self-doubt. If anything, he was always inspiring his comrades around him to keep pushing, to keep going forward. You know, he tried to give them a better life until he realized that, you know, they couldn't really escape the war. They had to make a stand and go from there. But you got other people like Ultra Magnus who just a wet blanket, you know, who just always
No, Fortress
show
Max just
self-doubt.
ran away.
Fortress Max, he didn't run away.
Of course he did.
He
He's
did.
like, I
He
don't
did.
know if you're doing it. See you later. Bye.
No,
Let me know,
he
go
did.
on.
And in Headmaster's miniseries, it was to try. I mean, you had the Junkions escaping and stuff like that, and that Planet Junk. You had people going cannibalistic. It was the hellhole Cybertron who turned into warlords and stuff. The war had long gone. He was trying to find a new home to start again with Cybertron and Autobot ideals. But then you had Scorponok follow suit.
I mean, that is still kind of running away.
Yeah.
Running away.
Come on, we're going. We don't
It's advancing in a different direction.
In reverse.
Right. Well, there we have it. We have the answer to who would be if Optimus Prime didn't exist. We should answer that and more metaphorical questions next week on the show. Andy, thanks so much. Andy B for coming on the show. Thanks so much, Andy from Transformers for coming on the show.
You're welcome,
Jamie. Thank you, Peter.
You didn't
I've
swear.
been calling your house. We didn't swear.
Peter didn't swear. Well done, Peter.
Brilliant work, team. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Please head to Facebook, Transformers the Show, and you can join in with all the chat during the week there. Bye-bye. End stream.